Welcome from Ocean City, Maryland. We're live tonight. We thought we could kind of put some water behind us, but it ended up being that you couldn't even see us. So I might flip the camera around a little bit before it gets dark and shoshow you what's behind us. But today, what we're going to be talking about is
Ocean City, Maryland.
That's right. They call it the Rock and Ride Bike Fest. We're going to talk about that in a minute, and you can talk a few seconds here while I get everything going and make sure we got
So we're staying here tonight, heading out in the morning. Going to drive back over to Baltimore, Maryland, catch the plane. We're going to stay all night in Baltimore and catch the plane and head out Tuesday. I guess we have a layover in St. Louis, and then we'll go to Wichita, Kansas, and get to see our youngest daughter and our two oldest grandsons. And we'll spend about 10 days with them. And then we'll rent a car, go down to Eureka Springs, Arkansas for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And we are going to be doing a ride. Don't have the destination of what time and where we're leaving from, but it will be that Thursday, the day of the week of the rally. So let me get the date here real quick. So it will be, I guess it'll be the first day of the rally, the 9th. So it'll be October 9th that we'll be taking a little ride.
Got a few people on there. There he is. Who's that?
XAN Biker says, good evening, Bob and Tim.
Did you make it to Lake of the Ozarks? That was going on this last weekend too. I seen a few videos on it, nothing overly impressive. But
looked like there was a few bikes there too.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about tonight about BikeFest here and kind of tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. We'll give a little bit of time for people to come on. We also got a special guest that's going to be coming on at in about 15 minutes. So we'll have them come on and they're going to explain some of their events that they've got coming up and some venues and stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Billy Snuffer.
So we got our sunglasses on because it's still a little bright out here. It's kind of cloudy. Let me flip the camera around here if I can get it off of here without destroying the world. It's all tied up. So that's what we're looking at out of our patio that we're on. We're on the 5th floor. Got some boats down there. There's a swimming pool. There it is over there. Swimming pool. And way over there is the inlet where everything was kind of going on. Behind us is where the vendors were at, the most of the vendors.
At the
convention center.
So
got that back on.
Most of them are all done.
Yep. Everybody's kind of headed out. It was over at 4. So let me tell you a little bit about what they had going on here. We'll kind of talk a little bit. You can look at your comments there and keep up with them.
Mike's on it. Looks like Mike. Hey, Mike.
And so all this started on Wednesday. We didn't arrive till Tuesday night. By the time we went to Walmart, got the things that we needed, tea, of course, and a few other things that we picked up, some milk and stuff like that.
Cookies.
It's about 9 o'clock at night by the time we got back over here. So we didn't really do a whole lot just other than driving through, but it was kind of scary at first because as we come through, like I say, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock. There wasn't hardly nobody out. It was a little misty, but I mean, no cars. Drove by a bunch of restaurants and stuff, and there wasn't anything really sitting out front. It was like, man, that's really scary. Well, Wednesday pretty much sprinkled off and on all day long.
Very heavy mist.
And off and on. Some days it was, sometimes it wasn't. You know, most of the video we put out that day, we actually went right over here at the convention center. We spent about half our time there, and then we spent the few more hours down there at the inlet. It sprinkled there a couple of times, but I mean, there was a few people out. We didn't check out any of the concerts that night. Thursday ended up being a whole different story. The sun came out. We had weather in the 70s.
There was people everywhere.
Yeah,
bikes and people, and it was like, oh. Everybody was hiding under a rock. I think they were afraid of the rain.
A lot of things. Most of the people that we talked to, you've seen some of them on the channel. We still got some more that we're going to be putting up the next few days. Some of the video here. Most of the, I almost ended up saying that this was probably what we call the 300-mile club. That most of the people that came to this rally this year was more locally, you know, within that 300 miles. Some 250, somewhere in that range like that.
A lot of people from New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware. Real close.
And so why, you might say, why was that? Well, the idea here is the person that was putting this rally on for the last 3 or 4 years got in
Would you
some
rather?
financial troubles, got some things going on, and he lost the rally. So they ended up trying to find somebody that would take this over. Well, there used to be another rally many, many moons ago. There was one that was over there. They called it
Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia.
Yeah, so there used to be a rally over there, and then when this one started here, they kind of were in competition with each other, and then that one kind of faded away, and then the person who was running this one, his name was Chase. He ended up going over there, and he took the Delmar Stadium or baseball stadium, whatever they got over there.
Purdue Stadium.
Yeah, Purdue Stadium, that's the name of it. And so he kind of took that over for the few years and was running that. Over the years, that's been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So what ended up happening here is the last person that was running this rally last year left a debt that had to be paid for before they would let the new person take this over. So they had to wait for sponsorship money to come through to pay for that. And they worked a really good deal with them to where that money they wouldn't have to pay for this year. So they broke even. The vendor didn't spend any more money. The promoter didn't spend any more money than what he would have spent at the end of this year anyway. But the city wanted that money because it was due for last year. So they took care of that. They worked it all out, and here it was. So all that took we basically had about a 90-day notice to maybe a 100-day notice before this rally officially was announced. Now, we talked about it all along because we have contacts and we kind of knew what was going on. And so we knew it was going to happen. We already had this all set up. Emery HVAC sets this up here. He already, and it's what he said, I already got it booked and everything's set for you guys. And I'm like, I looked and said, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. She called the city. They said they were definitely going to have it, but they didn't let the vendors know till the last minute. So that's what was really tough. They were down to just a couple of months before they could get their contracts in and figure out where they were going to be. So there is some people that got moved around. We even found some people over here today that we actually seen them last night, but we didn't get over there till the day. But right across from the inlet here, there's a bridge that takes you across the water. And what was the name of that restaurant over there? Hooper's.
It's called Hooper's Island.
Yeah. And they had, which I had no idea. I seen a couple of things over there. Randy's was over there. The other Amsoil truck was over there. Scully was over there. And in the back, there was a whole bunch more people. By the time we got there today, most of them were already breaking down and heading out. So we'll talk about that next year. We'll get in here. We're going to talk about that too. What's going to happen for next year here for us. But so that was set up there. There was nothing out at the stadium. The Purdue Stadium had nothing. The dealership out there at Rommel, they had nothing going on. So there really was no reason to go over there to see what anything that was going on. Everything was here. So what they did is some of the vendors, JP Cycles out there. What was that other big tent called down there?
It was like Black Custom.
Yeah, some big giant people that had custom. I think they had exhaust.
Black Label Custom.
Yeah, I think they had exhaust and wheels and all that. I don't know if they were doing any work or not. We don't know them, so we didn't really cover much of that. We just kind of showed the camera. They were kind of down there on the end there. They also had Kenny's brothers, Mike. That has the glass trailers.
And he had his other brother there, Jimmy. So we got to meet Jimmy too.
And they had they got the glass trailer you could bid on the bike, and they were giving 2 T-shirts away you could get. So that was a really good deal. They had 7 tickets or 6 tickets for $25 plus 2 free T-shirts. So it was a great deal. So they were there. There was the guy that has the wallets. You see him at the Beaver Bar. He's been in Panama City. He's got the red trailer with all the leathers and stuff, wallets and stuff in it.
We're in Ocean City, Maryland, Karen.
He was there. What else was there? There was a guy, Pink something customizing. I don't really know what that guy was doing. He just had a little bitty tent. 10 by 10.
But there was always a crowd there.
They were cranking music up more than anything else. There was another guy doing LED lights that was on the corner. And on behind them was somebody doing stereo equipment, but it was very confusing because they had like 6 different tents with 6 different companies' name all on 10 by 10 tents. It was very confusing. They ended up leaving like at noon or something on yesterday. So I never did see them work on anything, but we weren't down there all the time.
That's okay, Griff.
So that's where they were all at. And then they had a few little miscellaneous things as you headed to where the concert area was. Concert area, they had the Globe of Death was in there. They had about a half a dozen or more vendor trucks were inside there. They had more bleachers in there now than they've had before. I think last year they only had the one, but I think it was in the VIP area. This was on the general admission area. They had some bleachers. And then way out back, which you could hear no problem, on the water side, inside still the fence, for general admission, they had a bunch of picnic tables out there. Lots of them, probably hundreds of them were out there. I didn't really see them till the last day. We went over there and watched the Globe of Death. They had a couple big bars and stuff there. So that's kind of about all that was inside there.
You're talking about Wild Bills.
They changed around the VIP area. They brought in a whole lot of kegs of beer, the 55-gallon drums, the wooden ones like the not JP Cycles, but Jack Daniels has. They sell them out in Sturgis and stuff. I've got one of them. They had a lot of those for tables. They had some cool chairs around them, all nice soft chairs. First night we were there Thursday, they were still quite a few of those chairs. Yep. Friday night, they were pretty much all taken. So that was in there for the VIP people. Yet up in front of the stage and stuff. You guys probably seen a little bit of that on the video. We did Mini Kiss. That was on so Wednesday night we didn't go down there. They had Jasmine Kane. I don't know who else was down there. We didn't go down there at all on Wednesday because we didn't go in and see the concert. I forget what the last band was. We did hear that last band, Saliva. So like whatever it is, Slaughter. They were down there. But the bad thing was not really bad thing, but I mean all the bands quit by 10 o'clock. So I don't know. There must be some kind of
noise ordinance. I bet that they have to be. So Graphics wants to know which is bigger, Ocean City or Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. The difference is you have more towns involved. So you've got Eureka Springs. You got Rogers. Rogers has got the Indian dealer. See, we have no dealer here. Rommel is like 40
in Salisbury. It's in Salisbury.
So it's a long ride away to get to them.
About 40 miles.
So, I mean, we have no local dealers. We had no demo trucks here from anybody because there's no dealers here. So, but in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, you will have the Indian dealers got demo truck there. You've got Harley Davidson's going to have their demo truck at Big Trail Harley. Who has two?
Harley.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're having demo trucks at the other lot, are they?
They always have.
And so they also have Hondas there. I don't know if they had demo trucks, but there were some trikes and stuff in their lot. There's several other motorcycle vendors that are there. Also, Rogers has that area downtown that's all fixed up that has vendors and they have bands. Now, Rogers doesn't have any big bands coming. They're more locals. They're all free concerts. So it's not a big deal. And then you got Eureka Springs and then you got all that great riding. There is no great riding here. Almost everybody we talked to when they said, oh, it's great riding. I said, well, what was the great riding? They said, well, getting here. The 250 or 300 miles they rode to get here, that was their great ride, which nothing wrong with that. But I mean, there's not, you can go out here and see the ponies that are out here, the wild horses, which really aren't wild. But I mean, Rider X and them went out there yesterday. They wanted us to go. And I'm like, we've been there, done that. There's nothing else out there. I've seen it. I have no interest in it. Emory HVAC recommended us doing a loop, and we never got around to doing that yesterday. We were going to go up and go to Jersey, go across the ferry and ride up in there a little bit. But what ended up happening there is the ferry was having some kind of scheduling issues.
Mechanical issues with the ferry.
And you didn't want to get up there and get trapped because
it's a 4-hour trip to come around and get back over here.
So we ended up not doing that. We did ride some of the coast again and checked out a few towns. I don't think I put any of that video up yet. That's stuff we're going to do after. We were going to try to do it live yesterday, but my gimbal for my phone ended up crapping out. It doesn't work anymore, so I got to get that replaced. So we were planning on doing a live yesterday down at the vendors because that's really where the biggest crowds were at this week was at the vendor lot, at the convention lot. Lots of people, thousands of people were there. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Anything else you want to know about Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, we'll let you know. This year it will be a little bit smaller for vendors at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue because it's overlapping Myrtle Beach and it's also overlapping Tennessee, Smoky Mountain thing, whatever that Amsoil Adam goes to. So they're having they still got 50 vendors going on, which isn't too bad for the lot. Plus, not saying what's downtown and what's at other lots and stuff like that too. So that kind of tells you about Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. So what else is going on here? I don't know how many vendors were actually over here at the vendor lot, but it was probably the same amount of people that were vendors that were here last year. Rick Rack and Tab they were across the street on the block where we parked motorcycle. Some people were whining, which I think they were vendors, saying that there was no parking. There was no problem here with parking. We talked to Rick Rack today and said, hey, was there any time they closed down that parking lot? And they said no. So I don't think there was any real issues with that.
So Eli was not here. I think they quit coming to this a while back.
I forget where he said he's at Tomahawk, wherever Tomahawk is at, is where he's at. I seen a video come up.
It's probably in Texas, and that's probably a lot closer to him.
I think it was more up north, but I mean, I don't know. So we're going to have a guest come on real soon here. We're going to have Marcus.
Oh.
Yeah, what?
He's here.
I know. I see him. Marcus here. That's from Camp
Thunder
Easy
in the
Ride.
Smokies.
And he's going to tell you some of the events he's got coming up. So if you're looking for a place to ride in and have any trouble, that's what you're going to do. So we're going to
have to bring all your
we're
stuff
going to
with you.
switch it over here to Marcus. And let's see, I got to mute mine and there we go over here. So let me bring him up first, and then we'll mute him or mute us.
There he is.
There he is,
you guys. What's shaking? How's the rally out there?
Oh, not too bad. It's not as big a crowd as normal because with what happened with Chase and everything going on here, they really didn't have but about a 90-day notice to get this up and going. So a lot of people, of course, you can't take time off or vacation. So we ended up having more of a local rally. People coming in 250, 300 miles came to it. But I mean, it still was the vendors. Almost all the vendors are tickled to death. Did really well.
Good. That's one of the rallies I've actually got many requests on if we're going out there, and we just I guess it just hasn't really got on the radar too much. You know, I mean, I've had people ask, we just haven't. Usually, I like to be invited. To be honest, it's usually one of those things to where the venues or the rally itself will reach out to, you know, us with Camp Easy Ride and invite us out with the space and the request. And that usually gives me the proper indication that, hey, we're going to have enough support to be out there. And that's one of the few that we haven't heard from. So maybe next year. So, but thanks for having us. I did want to go over a couple of details of what we're doing coming up. For those that don't know what we do, of course, Camp Easy Ride, we pre-set up elaborate camp compounds at bike rallies nationwide. So we bring out all the fun stuff that you guys can't fit on your bike. We bring out the hot tubs, the pools, the cocktail stations, the stripper poles, the fire pits, the camp games, the lounge areas, the cook stations. Of course, it's moto glamping. So you are in a tent, but you're as comfortable as you possibly can be in a tent. They're very large tents, 10 by 14, high ceiling, high-rise pillow top air mattress, full linens, all the good stuff. So it's definitely a lot of fun, not to mention that you have 100 to 200 new friends to party with. So coming up, we have, let me think. What month are we in now? We're September. So coming up October 2nd, I believe, is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. We're going to be up there in Eureka Springs at the farm. Great little venue. I've actually been there before. We did the Eureka, or not Eureka, in Fuego camp out a couple years back. Great people that put that on, had a good time. So it's always it's a good venue, good riding. After that, of course, we got 2 weeks later, we got BikeToberfest. We're over there at Cabbage Patch. Of course, everybody knows the Cabbage Patch Bar. A lot of people don't know, right across the street, there is a wooded area back there for camping. It's usually pretty quiet until we come into town. We take over pretty much most of it and create a large compound in there and bring all the shenanigans and everything we do. Good thing is you are literally crawling distance from the Cabbage Patch Bar and Cackleberry and all the fun stuff down in that little square there. And then let's see, what do we got after that? We got Roscoe's Chili Challenge. That's more of a locals thing, but if you're here in the Florida area, it is definitely a good backyard party is what they call it. It's a backyard biker party. It's in Lakeland, Florida. That is November, I want to say 5th through 8th. It's a 3-dayer. It's very adulty. It's obviously 21 and over. A lot of body painting, a lot of non-bodies that are painted. it's very adulty. Let's just put it that way. So it's a good little backyard party, and we are planted right next to it over at Felix and Teresa's campground. So literally, you can stumble in between the two parties and have a damn good time. And then, of course, to start out our year is our annual Key West Takeover, the Winter in Paradise, which is, I want to say that's January 8th through 12th, I believe. That's our 4-day event that we do down there. And that is, there's no rally. There's no bike event going on. This is strictly a Camp Easy Ride event. This is one of the few that we just keep small. We limit at, I think we cap it at 24 reservations. So it's going to be about 50 of us. And I am your tour guide down there, and I show you how to have a damn good time down in the Keys. I know everything about it. So follow me, and you'll have a good time, or at least you'll hopefully remember having a good time. And then, of course, we start off our year working all the way back to Sturgis from there. So it's going to be quite a busy year.
So we also see there the Buffalo Chip is already taking reservations at the Chip.
Absolutely. Yep. They started January 3rd. We kicked off our site, I think it was the 29th, just to give some pre-sales. And we had, I want to say we had about 30, 20, 28, 29 reservations come in within, before the pre-sales even started. So I haven't got the report from the Buffalo Chip yet on how many we have for, out there at the Chip compounds. Of course, we have 3 different compounds that we have out there. We have kind of a budget-friendly Back to the Basics, and then Party City, which is what you guys are used to seeing, and then the Old Yurt Town, which is for our bougie bikers. Those are the big yurts and big spacious and all the extra amenities, which, of course, sold out with a very long list last year. So I think we are actually going to build out the Old Yurt Town, possibly on a different venue even. Not venue as in different from Buffalo Chip, but we might separate it from Party City. You guys, as you guys saw when you guys were out there, it's right behind Party City. It grew so fast that we might have to take a half an acre that's back behind that little western town, back behind us where all those I don't know. I call it Western Town, but there's an acre back there that Woody and I were talking about. So that might be the new Old Yurt Town area.
That sounds pretty good. I know it's getting this year, the next year in Sturgis. I think it's going to be a really big one because it's going to be the 250th of America, and I think it is. There's a lot of I think everybody's booking right now through Sturgis, so it's kind of exciting.
Yep, that's actually, it's funny because Woody actually had that same premonition. We had our little beginning meeting. Actually, it was our exit meeting last year, and I had asked him how he thought the 85th was going to be, and he says, "It'll be okay. The 86th is what's going to blow it out." And of course, I'm like, "Really? I thought it's always on the nickels or the dimes." And he says, "No, I have a sneaky feeling that the 86th is going to be the big one." So I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good time. I think it's going to be, we might even see bigger crowd than we had in the 85th.
Yep. And better bands, and not that bands were bad. I mean, they actually had a really nice lineup this last one, but he's with Damon taking over and putting the part that he's putting in. I think Damon's bringing a lot of good things to it. He's definitely bringing the entertainment, and then when it comes to all the stuff at Camp Zero and all the entertainment that they do, the live wire, or what do they call that, the high wire guy, and I don't know if you guys were there during that, but I mean, it was nuts what they had going on with all that, the high wire and the bikes jumping over each other, and it was definitely a lot going on.
Well, one of the rumors I'm hearing, which I hear from some good sources, that we hear that Good Money is that Kid Rock's coming back.
I've heard it. I haven't confirmed it. I've heard a few of the rumors.
They're never going to confirm it until they announce it.
Yeah, and always a good party. I remember he was there. 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Oh yeah, and what was that? 105,000 people they had out there. Yeah. And the good news is that for those that don't know where we are, we're located. Our compound is located just south 23 steps away from Bikini Beach, and if you know that area, it is perfect for where the venue, or I'm sorry, where the music is, basically the stage. Not only is it about an 8-minute little stumble away, but like in our case, or my case, I should say, I'm not a big crowd person. At 105,000 people, I can go without that. So us personally, me and the missus and a few, select other patrons, we wound up hanging out in the hot tub with our cocktails in hand, and can hear the music just like he was right in front of us. I mean, it was just perfect the way the wind was coming, and no crowds, and you can make your own cocktails, and so it's nice to have our venue or our compound where it is if you don't want to get mixed up in the $10 beer specials and stuff such like that. So it's always a good time though.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm hoping next year will be a good year. I say, overall this year for the rallies, they've all done pretty decent. I think attendance has been down over most of the rallies. The 85th was a little bit more for Sturgis, but overall most of the rallies, but most of the vendors seem to be doing pretty good. And, most of the campgrounds and stuff are getting pretty good rentals and stuff. So I think overall everybody seems to be pretty happy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, we got a few vendor friends that actually have kind of came out to the chip on my recommendation, actually. And I always ask them afterwards, hey, was it worth the trip? Because obviously everybody I know is from Florida, and I have not heard a complaint yet. Everybody's been happy with the results and already signed back up for the next year. So it's been a good thing.
That sounds pretty good. Is there anything else you want to tell us all?
Other than that, a big thank you to you two, because of course, we source all of our sales, and I have heard your name come up very, very, very much, which is fantastic. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Thank you for what you guys do out there, not even outside of us. Of course, giving the information to us. I personally follow you because, of course, I want to know about the venues and what could be good for Camp Easy Ride. So, of course, with you guys doing the return favor and giving your honest opinion about, obviously you've stayed with us, your honest opinion about it, it helps us and shows our patrons what they can look forward to. So definitely a big thank you to Bob and Tam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate you too. And,
right.
I think when we started, you were kind of just starting out too. And it was kind of
Yep.
like we, kind of got all
together.
Yeah. And so
Yep.
it's kind of exciting. And to see things go, and, just like what you did, there's other people that's tried to do what you do, but they've never been able to get it down. You're kind of like what we are, with us being who we are and the way we do our videos. There really isn't anybody that can really do what we do for giving out information. And you're kind of the same way with you doing this full time. This is your main job, and you're all over the United States doing this. You've got that uniqueness too.
Yep. Keep it up. Don't change a thing.
Yep,
That's right.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, thank you for having us, guys. I appreciate the time, and I look forward to seeing you in probably Biketoberfest.
Yep.
Oktoberfest.
Sounds good.
We'll see you at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. We'll head out that way.
Yep.
I unfortunately may not be there. I'm a little double booked with something else, but I probably will be sending Milky. You've met Milky,
Okay. Yep.
my sidekick. So he will be. This actually probably will be his first. I haven't quite decided. I might zip in real quick for a day.
I'm sure he's doing okay.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, give a little check on things, but unfortunately, I'm a little double booked with some other business. But this is I'm letting the baby go just a little bit.
All right. Well, you got to give him a try somewhere.
That's right.
Absolutely.
All right. And then we'll see. If not, we'll see you at
Daytona.
Yep, for bike.
I like it. I like it. All right, guys.
All right.
Appreciate the time. Have a good day.
Okay. You too.
Take care.
All righty. So that was Marcus, and it's Camp Easy Ride.
Over there.
Right there. If you guys want to check that out, what kind of makes him just unique is that he's got,
He brings everything that you can't get on your bike.
We see so many rallies that people go out and spend a lot of money, and they buy a tent and a cooler and chairs and all this stuff, and they just leave it. And for almost what you're paying for that, you're getting a whole entertainment. And if you guys gone back and seen some of the videos we've done, especially when we just did in Vegas and Sturgis for him, we talked to a bunch of the people there, and some of them were their first time. And same thing, I would highly recommend it to somebody, or even people that's never really been to a rally. Like, hey, maybe I want to go to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, or maybe I want to go to Daytona or Sturgis, and I've never gone to a motorcycle rally. Well, you can come in here. You're already going to meet a whole bunch of new friends.
That's right.
That's going to take you out and show you rides and fun things to do, plus all the events they got going on inside the compound that they have. It's just, you got to see it to believe it. So we'll get back now and talk a little bit more about Ocean City here. Tell you a little bit more. So I go into a little bit about what's going down in the inlet down there. Concerts were running the first 2 nights. They were around $65 plus fees. The Friday and Saturday night, they were about $80 plus fees. That included all the bands that were playing. Most of them had 4 or 5 bands throughout the evening, after late afternoon, evening, that were playing. So you had a right variety. Yesterday, they even had karaoke going on for a while early when it came on. Whoops.
Yep.
I guess it was just my jug. Oh. And so that was kind of cool. We're going to talk about concerts in a minute too, to kind of touch base on that. So over here so I told you about, so the baseball stadium out there
Purdue
is closed. There was no vendors out there at all, no music, no nothing was out there. Dealership had nothing going on out there. So we're back over here. When you leave the inlet, you can go over the bridge and you can go to
Cooper's Island.
And they had a whole bunch of vendors. We didn't get a chance to get over there. We got there today to kind of just look around a little bit.
We didn't know that there was vendors over there till yesterday.
Yeah. So we missed out because we had gone over there on Wednesday, drove by there and didn't see anything. But I guess because of the rain, nobody was setting up yet.
And it was dark too.
So that's where we kind of didn't get to see a lot of them. So then over at Secrets, we did go in there and check that all out during the day. Bands were just kicking up when we were getting in there. And I didn't show you any of that yet either. So some bands were starting to kick up and there was a handful of people there. We ate there with Ron from Emery HVAC. We had lunch and stuff there, lunch/dinner. Had that.
Late
it was
lunch,
pretty cool.
Early dinner.
And I had a pretty good crowd already in there for being early. It was probably 3 or 4 o'clock. So we did that. They've got a bunch of vendors out front. They've got Bill's trailer sales. He had all his big gears all set up there. What was the other big tent that I seen over there? There was a couple of big tents that were out at the stadium before that came over here now. So they've got quite a few.
Randy's at Lucas Oil?
Yeah, maybe that's who it was. Randy's or Lucas Oil. He was the other one, big one there. They had some other people doing light stuff. It used to be just pretty much vendors that were selling T-shirts and sweatshirts and leathers and stuff. So now they've got more vendors there, which is kind of cool. So we got and looked at that. When it comes to food, we didn't have a lot of time to go check a lot of places out because we're only here a few days. But I mean, there's probably 1,000 pizza places and 1,000 Italian restaurants, and probably 500
seafood
and about
ice cream shops.
Yeah, 500 ice cream shops.
Which I can't complain, although none of them hit the spot. We ate a couple different ice creams, and I'm just
most of them are down there on the boardwalk, so we didn't go anywhere off the boardwalk to have ice cream. But it was all right for me. I'm not that picky about ice cream. It's cold.
I like chocolate, and they had chocolate, but it wasn't
maybe artificial chocolate.
I don't know, milk chocolate or just a hint of chocolate.
So I don't know. So that's that. We ended up going to Bad Monkey. We did the one on the other side of the water over there.
They call that West OC, I think.
It wasn't the best. It was okay. But I mean, it just wasn't what we thought. We had ate at the other one before, but we went over there and bought T-shirts. Their T-shirts were close to $40 a piece. And I'm like, I don't need one that bad. So I didn't buy anything there. And they only had a black one for the rally shirt. Where else did we eat at? We did the pancake place. What's that called?
Happy Jack's.
Ate there twice. Ryder X like that. That was okay. But I mean, it's just pancakes. That's pretty much pancakes, waffles,
French toast.
Yeah, that's their specialty. Very busy place.
We went to the Bayside Skillet. That was a breakfast place.
And what is their specialty?
Crepes.
That's about all they have. But they give you a very big selection of a lot of food on your plate. So her and Ryder X split their food.
It was potatoes and gravy instead of like biscuits and gravy. It was like these fried potatoes and gravy.
What Ron had, Emery HVAC.
He had a 3-meat omelet.
And it was like this big.
I ate a little piece of his. It was really good. The sausage.
So we did that, and then we're talking about the donut place.
Oh, the fractured donut. It's called the Fractured Prune.
It's only open till 2.
Nope, noon.
Oh, is it noon?
Yes.
They have hot cake donuts, and they put whatever topping you want. They're really good. I think I might go get me donuts before we leave tomorrow. You got to have some milk. We'll have some milk left over.
That's right. So what they do is, I guess, I don't know. There's a place where we go in California during the winter or the fall, I guess. It's anyway, they have these little homemade donuts, but they're little bitty ones. And that same thing. They make them fresh. When you order them, they make them, and then they take them and they put them in whatever glaze you have. They got like 8 different kinds of glazes, and then they have all these different toppings. And so
they're all cake. So they're probably deep fried.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole thing is really hot inside. I get the sugar, powdered sugar ones, and they were really good. I had a lot of powdered sugar. I made really make a mess. But it was really good. I don't know what it cost us for 2 donuts.
I think it was like $7. It wasn't bad, but what they did was
They screwed her order
they
up.
screwed. Because he doesn't. I got, of course, I got the chocolate glaze and the chocolate chips and the chocolate everything, all chocolate. And I opened it. So I took this little thing and I opened it up and it was 2 chocolate donuts. I thought, oh crap.
Well, they wrote on the lid what it is, so I don't know why the guy.
So I went up there and I said, I wanted a powdered sugar one and a chocolate one. And I thought maybe they dumped the one in powdered sugar and then put the chocolate all on top of it. And he's like, oh, and he went and told the guy. So I guess their policy is if you order 3, you get 1 free. So since the guy made him a powdered sugar donut, instead of giving me another powdered sugar donut, he gave me another chocolate one. And I'm thinking, I did not ask for that because I wondered when
somebody sucked 2 down really fast.
I did, and then I gave Rhetorix one, but because I thought I could have ate the 3rd one, but I didn't.
So that was really cool. Today we ended up eating at, what's that place called?
It was called Bull on the Beach,
and it's down a little farther. It's past Convention Center, going the opposite way as the inlet. We're just trying to find some place to eat lunch, something different. Went in there, and it was pretty crowded. A lot of people were there to eat.
They had a lot of seafood. They had like fresh oysters and all that.
They specialized in beef too, besides the fish food and all that. They had oysters when you first came in. You could get out of the shell and all that stuff. And it was okay. It's a little expensive though. It was I had an open roast beef sandwich and she had just a sandwich.
A brisket sandwich.
And it was $43. So I thought that was a little high.
I think his was 17 or his was 15 and mine was 17.
And I paid $4 for a tea or soda. And she got water. So to me, it just seemed like it was a little steep, but it was okay. But I mean, it wasn't worth $40 to me, but I mean,
the brisket was really good. It was sliced super thin, but I mean, it had a good flavor, but it was supposed to come with cheddar cheese and grilled onions and all this stuff. I thought it was a little dried out. It could have used a little more, maybe some au juice or something like that. But it had a pretty good flavor. It was just a little dry. And then the bread, it came on, the big, thick bread. And the French fries. So
we had a hamburger someplace else too, besides the Monkey, and it wasn't that great either. They had that. The buns were really like, I don't know what kind of bread they're using, but it's like the outside's really hard. It's almost like a pretzel bun, but it's a regular bun.
I think they call them those brioche buns.
I mean, I don't know if that's a big thing down here. We ate someplace else and they had a burger and it had the same kind of bun.
Did you eat at Secrets? Is that where you got a burger
I guess that's where I got it at.
No, or did you get the French dip there?
I had the French dip, but it was the same bread.
He likes his bread soft.
That's right.
He likes soft buns. They're all saying hi to each other. There's Gareth and David Eastwood. Hey, David. So I'm all caught up on the talking to people. Now, what are you looking for?
I'm going to talk about concerts in a minute. So some of the complaints that I monitor Facebook page. So some people are complaining about this rally. So first of all, they took this whole town and made it an entertainment district. Well, I thought when they were going to do that, I thought it was going to be kind of like Sturgis, that they were going to have a cordoned off area that you could take open containers out and walk around on the street and, whatever. Well, that wasn't what it's about. All it was a police sanctioned area. That what they basically did is this whole area was considered to be construction zone.
Hey,
there was no warnings written for any tickets that you may get.
If you got pulled over, you were getting a ticket. End of story.
And it would be the price that you would happen to be in a construction zone if you were speeding or whatever.
So it's 2 or 3 times.
Not a good news, but overall, us monitoring this, we seen tons of cars being pulled over, cars and trucks. We never seen a motorcycle in town get pulled over. We seen one out when we were going out towards the beaches that got pulled over. Little beach towns, you got to watch that anyway, even before that happened.
Because they dropped the speed limit.
Yeah, but I mean, there were still people but it seemed like they were more downtown, out by the convention center. We had the crotch rockets doing 80 miles an hour around us. Nobody ever got any of them. We didn't see any police cars really, other than at the convention center. There was some police cars sitting there for probably protection and things like that. But up on the road and stuff, never seen any. I'm not saying there wasn't any. So that was something that might affect some of the people that were thinking about coming. But once again, I didn't see any motorcycles pulled over. They said a lot of this is because that young boy last year got hit in the crosswalk by a drunk motorcycle guy. And that's what they said, what started them to think about this, because people in the city kind of complained. I mean, most people don't live here. This is more of a vacation area. Yeah, there's a lot of, this is a condo we're in. Somebody owns it, but they rent it out. They're probably here once in a while, but I would probably think along this main strip, there probably isn't very many people that live here year round. Not saying there isn't, but I would bet probably money. It's mostly their rental condos or hotels. So you really don't have much of a local crowd to kind of complain about stuff like they do at other rallies. But I could be wrong because we don't spend a lot of time here. So talk a little bit about concerts. One of the things, first of all, the people that are putting this on now is actually a company that does natural disasters. They come out and help do cleanups of people's houses, all kinds of stuff. They're actually out of this area. They had trucks everywhere lined up so they already had generators. They had porta potties. They had porta potties like there was no tomorrow. There was probably 50 of them over here at the convention center.
Plus, the convention center was open, so you could go inside and use a regular toilet.
So I went into the ones that were down at the inlet, which same thing. Inside, they probably had another 50 down there. So you really never had to stand in line to use the bathroom. They also had plenty of ones that had the wash where you could clean your hands and stuff with, the pump water, get the paper towels. They were always full. They were right. You know, a lot of times you come out, they got one. You got to fight over it. This one had, like in front of just one row, there probably was 6 of them. So there was plenty of, you didn't have to, most of the time you didn't have, like I said, we were down there during the concert series. We weren't down there. They quit at 10. So it's not like a lot of the venues that are 11 or 12 o'clock. There's still stuff going on. The food vendors that were actually inside the inlet, we didn't need any of them. There was nothing there that really, they had the pretzel. Yeah, they had pretzel guy. They had a couple of things. I'm not even sure what they even had for real food.
I mean, one had like chicken fingers and French fries. That's about the most food.
But I mean, the whole boardwalk is full of places to eat, and you can go in and out. You have a bracelet. You just walk in and out, many times as you want. Yesterday, I walked out probably 10 times because we gave some tickets away. If you were there, we gave away some general admission and had some VIP we gave out. Some of our subscribers, and a couple of them we gave out to people we didn't know, trying to make them new subscribers.
There you go.
So something we got extra, and we wanted to give those out. And we didn't sell them or anything, gave them away for free.
There you go.
So that was something else we did. But some of the people were complaining the bands weren't what they would have expected. First of all, they only had about 90 days to book these bands. So that's one thing you have to look at. Jasmine Kane was here for a couple nights. We had Mini Kiss.
Flutter, Queen's Right, Quiet Riot, Uncle Cracker.
And a whole bunch of miscellaneous bands stuck in between all those. So not the craziest bands, but I just want to give, because people are complaining, wow, man, we want better bands. We want this, we want that. Well, they have a couple big festivals here. One coming up right now is going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. They're going to have a country one. So I'm just going to give you an idea of the price. So check this out. If you're wanting to pay these prices, I will pass this on to the promoter to get you better bands. So here we go. I went on their website to look this up. These are without fees. So you have to remember that too. You're going to have to add, 30 or 40 or $100 or whatever it is.
For the taxes and all that.
So for a 3-day pass, just a general admission is $345. Now, you might go, that's not bad. I paid $500 at the chip and I waited to the last minute. Okay. For a 3-day general admission plus. It's $605
per person.
VIP is $980. Now they have a platinum series. Now remember, all these prices are per person. They have a 3-day VIP platinum. No, that's just a platinum. 3-day platinum is $2,765
per person.
Yes, and they have
that's 3 days though. For 3 days, 3-day tickets.
They have another one for the VIP is $7,940. Cha-ching! Now, you might say, well, maybe I only want to go one day. So to give you a 1-day ticket, a general admission is going to run you $185. And if you want one with a collectible something, they're giving you something collectible with it, $195. That's just general admission. So once again, if you're interested in spending that kind of money, I could probably pass that along and they could do pre-sales and they will get you a little bit better concerts. People complain at the Buffalo Chip when it's $120 to $150 a night for the bands, but you've also got to realize that most of these bands today that are coming to rallies, festivals, fairs, all this, Live Nation ties a lot of these bands up, and you can't get them because they want they want to sell the tickets and they want half the money. So a small venue like this, it's only getting a couple of thousand people coming in and they take half their money.
They're not making any money.
They're not making anything. So right now, I would say they probably didn't do real well with these concerts, but they might have got good deals from these bands for last minute bookings. Might have been things they didn't have going on anyway. So that I don't know. But they will probably have a little bit better bands than they had this year, probably next year. But all you have to do is once they start listing the bands at the rallies, it's the same people that circulate through everyone.
That year.
Same ones are going to be at
Daytona.
Well, not so much Daytona. But when you're looking at the concerts that cost, the same ones you're going to see in Milwaukee. The same ones are going to be in Sturgis. The same ones that are going to be down here. It's just kind of a cycle that goes through. The rest of the free concerts you go to, because some people always say that, I don't know why Daytona, they don't bring in some real bands. Last time I knew, nobody's charging for concert tickets. And if a few of them have charged before, but they're like $30 to see, what's that one they used to have at the Doghouse?
Oh, Motley Crue.
Motley Crue. I know they've charged in the past like $30 or something during the rally. But I mean, most of the time, these places don't charge anything. You go to the Iron Horse, you go to the Broken Spoke, you go down to Main Street, all of them, they're not charging anything. Teddy's, I think in one concert, they charged one time for a jackal or something coming in. But once again, you're paying minimum. You're paying most time less than $50 to see a ticket. So there you go. But so that kind of talks a little bit about that. We talked to the vendors today, and you'll see some of them come on. They're going to tell you how they did. Overall, most of the vendors that are over here in
Convention Center
did very well. They're very happy. They didn't make $1 million, but they did as good as they did last year, maybe a little better. We did have a less crowd here this year. I will tell you that right off the bat. And you'd say, well, how do you determine that? Well, the first thing I did here is if you went to the inlet while you were here, we lost about a quarter of the parking lot that we parked motorcycles in to JP Cycles and these other vendors that they shoved up inside there. I'm almost thinking they might have put the fence out a little bigger too. It seemed like the inlet venue area was a little bigger.
Yeah.
Well, I was really scared that when it came Friday night and Saturday night, they would shut that parking lot down because there'd be too many motorcycles.
Never happened.
Nope. They didn't close this parking lot over here either. So we didn't get the crowds that in the past has been here. And one vendor was trying to tell me it was a bigger crowd than it was. And it's like, dude, you don't even get out. You don't have no idea what's going on here. So I wasn't going to argue with this guy. The truck he's got is somebody we know. I'm going to end up calling and complaining about his attitude. Try to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And the difference between us and everybody else is because the vendors know they can be honest with you. I know what most of these vendors did money-wise, but I'm not going to sit on here and tell you this is what this person did. These people made $30,000. This person made $100,000. Don't need to know that because that we like the loyalty that we get from them to do this. Looks like we might be picking up a couple new sponsors this year. We'll be telling you about those soon, which is kind of cool. And a couple people that were just overly impressed with us just stopping in and seeing what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of exciting. But I mean, overall, the rally was okay. For me this year, it kind of got yesterday a little boring. We don't have no bike shows here. We have no bike rides, no poker runs or nothing like that. And we ended up meeting with the help of Billy from Twisted Tea. And we are the official YouTube channel for Twisted Tea. There is no other YouTube channel that is sponsored by Twisted Tea. So remember that.
Keep it twisted.
That's right. We have Billy. Billy's going to be coming on the channel. He had to leave. Friday night for a big thing in Boston. He had
ceremony.
Yeah. So we didn't get the chance. You'll see him again in Daytona. We'll be checking out with Billy then and getting everything all set up. But so it's kind of cool. So he took us in and introduced us to the radio station here. They got a rock station here. It's 98 point something. And we ended up meeting a bunch of people there and talked to them. And they were asking us about stuff about rallies because we told them we really only come in here on Tuesday night and we're not, because that's what they said. Once I told them all the things we do at a normal rally, we get there early. We show people what's going on. All that. They said, oh, well, what did you do before you got here? Nothing, because we got here Tuesday night and it started on Wednesday.
Why don't you come early?
We've done this for 3 years. Emory HVAC said he could get us in probably on Sunday here without any problem if we wanted to come early next year. But he just didn't think we'd ever want to come early because there's nothing going on here before this rally starts. But the idea is what we do is go around and we see the vendors as they're setting up. And, you all see all what we do. And nobody else does what we do. So this is the only rally really that we don't service properly like we do all the others. That would be nice. So we talked a bit at the radio station, and they act like maybe they might do something, or somebody else might do something to help us get here earlier. So we'll see how that all works out. So that was interesting. They knew the promoter, of course, because they're doing advertising for them, and they're going to get us in touch with them so we can sit down, because they're asking a lot of questions on their Facebook page. They're asking if people, what would you like to see? What would you like? 90% of the people have all the same crap they complain about. Prices are too high, not the bands I want. And I wrote some guy last night. He was on a rampage. Well, tell me the bands you want. Tell me who you want. Never has responded back to me yet. When people say the stupidest things, they're going to say they want whoever it might be.
Bob Seger.
Well, Bob Seger's just got out of having surgery done, so he ain't coming nowhere. But I mean, he ain't going to come out to any rally anyway. There's a lot of these, I want the Rolling Stones, or I want the Beatles. I want, and they're not even around anymore. But I mean, people just say stupid stuff, and you always get the people, I want Britney Spears, I want whatever. Nobody's ever going to be happy with what
after we DJ'd for a long time, you figure out you cannot please everybody. You can be in one place, and whatever you're playing, somebody else wants something else. Play country, they want rock and roll. You play rock and roll, they want blues. You play blues, they want dance. Whatever you put on, somebody else wants something else. What are you playing that for? I want this. And
what I would like to
everybody.
See here, and maybe they don't do it because they have this big country fest coming up, is they have no country music here. They've never had any country artists since we've been coming here. When he was in Panama City, he never had any country artists, I don't think. And
Travis Tritt.
Well,
that was the year Travis Tritt was everywhere.
Yeah.
They had Leonard Skinner, which they call Southern Rock,
but I mean, a lot of these bands are going to be the same bands you see. And if you're thinking you're going to get, I don't know, let me ask my phone who the biggest concert drawer right now.
Country fair?
No.
County fairs?
What is the number one concert to see right now in the United States?
Taylor Swift.
I don't know who it is. Still thinking. Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa. I don't know who the hell that is. Kendrick Lamar, Billie Eilish, Metallica, Linkin Park, Billy Joel, Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs, Zach Bryan. There you go. So yes, out of all those, you could probably get what am I seeing here? Billy Idol, I thought I'd seen.
It's not Billy Idol.
Oh, Billy Joel.
Irish.
Oh, Billy Joel. Billy Joel ain't coming to I tell you no. Linkin Park, I doubt it. Metallica, it would cost a fortune probably to have Metallica come out. Oasis, I don't even know who they are. After years of anticipation, the reunited of the rock band is massive draw. Billie Eilish, I've heard of him.
Her.
How is it?
Mm-hmm.
Kendra Lamar, I've heard that name. This other one, Dua Lipa, I don't know who that is. Lady Gaga, I can't even believe she's even drawing people anymore. Beyonce. Most of these you'd laugh if they put them on the schedule. So once again, these are bands. Typically, a lot of these people, when they look at this stuff, it's like I wrote this guy. Kid Rock, now if he knows somebody, he gives them a little better break, like the Buffalo Chip. But typically, he's a $300,000 band. So if you're only going to have 3,000 people show up, you're going to have to get at least $1,000 just to break even with what you paid. Not saying that you had to pay for a sound guy and, your sound guy or whatever equipment needs to be there that they didn't bring with them and all that. So, you're looking at these tickets that could be $200 tickets. Now, at the Buffalo Chip, they get a really good rate, and we're not going to tell you how much he pays. But he does get a better rate than some of the other ones. But that is, Billy Idol was back out a few years ago.
I can't believe Taylor Swift wasn't on any of that.
Yeah, but he's tired of her. But Billy Idol was out, and he didn't come to the Chip State Sturgis, did he? He did a couple other concerts someplace else, but he was
here last year.
Oh, was it here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's right. He was here, and I wouldn't mind seeing Billy Idol. And here we didn't end up getting passes last year. We heard a little bit of him outside of the. That's the thing here is you can stand outside of the inlet and sit on a bench, and you can hear all the music. You can't see it real well, but you can hear it.
They had a really good fireworks show. We missed the drone display, but we got to see the fireworks show. But that was pretty cool. It's they did that as a tribute for
9/11
9/11.
dedication that they did, and it was that was
And
pretty
they
cool.
did have a ride for 9/11, which they
But
said
it
they do it
wasn't-
every year.
But it wasn't part of the rally.
Yeah, they just do it every year.
So we gave them some suggestions on how they could do poker runs, how they could do it, which would cost them almost nothing to do. And so we'll see if they get back with us and we can help them maybe get that going. But it'd be nice to have a few things going on here other than really this is almost like, but even Myrtle Beach has some bike shows. They even have some rides. The dealership has some rides going out of there. They had the veterans had some rides going out last year. So, they have some of that going on. But I mean, that's why I said there's nothing else here other than drinking, eating, and and vendors. And this has always been a great rally for vendors because there used to be a rally up in Atlanta City, somewhere up there. There used to be a rally. It's gone. The one that was out here, whatever you called it, what's it called?
Delmarva.
Yeah, that's been gone for a long time. So really, this is about the only closest
It was
one.
called Winter Park. They had a big thing at.
The people here don't like to go to Myrtle Beach as much. Myrtle Beach is starting to go downhill. With them having so much trouble out there at
Barefoot Landing.
One year we have it there, 1 year we don't. 1 year we have it there, 1 year we don't. And it's last year, half the time they didn't have anybody going out there. And it's slowly gonna die. If it wasn't for if Beaver Bar or Suck Bang Blow would ever close up, that rally would go to crap in a handbag. They'd just be gone. That's all that's there. The rest of it doesn't really amount to nothing. And the vendors there, there really isn't. They're so sparingly there. Speeds is down there, Amsel Adam, but he's not going for the fall. The fall rally is getting less and less vendors are heading out there, and some of the vendors said they're not even coming back for the spring. So that's kind of sad. We don't normally do fall rallies. We're doing Daytona this year, Biketoberfest, because they're sponsoring us, bringing us back to give you guys great information and all that. And right now it's looking really good. They got a lot of hotel rooms booking up and stuff. So, hey,
Sean said there were a few rides. Fishtails had a poker run ride, cruising the coast.
I don't know where they're advertising at, but it's not coming up on anything that is Ocean City. I belong to most of the Facebook pages that mount anything. I don't know why. I'm not looking to spend money, but if you're offering like Fishtails is having something, they should have it on. Get with the promoter and put it on their page. The idea of that is not looking to
draw people in.
Yeah, because the more people that come to the rally, the more money they're going to make. So they don't need to charge you. But we did go to Fishtails. I wasn't overly impressed with Fishtails. It's not at all what I was thinking. I was thinking it was like
Secrets.
Yes, that it was going to be a big giant place and bands and all this. And they only got DJs and it's a really bitty small place. And they got big giant playground for kids. Hey, if you want to take one of those boats out and go putting around the lake.
There was just one that went by. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. But I mean, it's I don't know. I just wasn't very over impressed. Now the other bad news that happened here is Wild Bills wasn't so wild.
They called it Mild Bills.
The story is we heard that they were messing with the city a while back, and the city never gave them any permits for outside music or outside alcohol.
Liquor.
Pretty much all they had was Tupperware, and what else was they selling?
Mary
Kay, and it was sad. Every night we went by there, it was nobody. And even in the bar, they had very small crowds.
Well, the bars. We went by because they say the Cork bar is a really big bar.
Well, stand in the room only, but there was no line outside.
They usually say there's a line to try to get in. And then they said the Purple Moose was at the other end of the boardwalk. We walked all the way down there.
We didn't go early. It was about 8:30 or 9 when we went down there. So it wasn't super late.
They charged you a cover to get in.
Yeah.
But I mean, it had like a disco ball in there, so it looked more like a nightclub kind of, I guess you would say. But they were like, oh my God. And this was Friday night. They were like, the people we were with were like, I can't believe it. There's usually that place is packed. And then even the DJ lady, the lady from the radio station said, the Purple Moose is one you want to go to, the Cork Bar, and Wild Bills. But of course,
the other one they said too, the oyster something or
the bearded clam.
Yeah, the bearded clam. They said that's another hot one. But we walked by there too. It was crowded inside, but I mean, it wasn't no standing room only. You're going to see footage of those. We filmed those both days. We filmed inside, so you're going to be able to see that crowds that are in those. So you're going to see that next week. So you'll be able to see what we've seen. But I mean, it's. I've always said that about this rally that there really isn't. Now we did go down to the beach towns. We could have went farther, but I didn't want to make an all day thing out of it. And there was a few
David?
rides you could take out here that would take you, like one of the ones we were looking at, I think Rider X was talking about that it would be about a 2-hour drive, or somebody was telling us about it. It's about a 2-hour drive there, a 2-hour ride back, plus whatever you're going to do there. So it's pretty much an all-day ride by the time
I think Ron was telling us that.
yeah, by the time you go do that and come back, it's all day. Well, if you're here all week, like I said, Wednesday was a washout. So we really didn't get, we only really had Thursday, Friday, and a little bit of Saturday here is about all we really had. And this today we just, somebody slept in. And so
I don't know. Usually I don't get jet lag this bad, but boy, this trip is
well, we haven't been
getting.
we've been staying up later than we normally do.
Till
Most
midnight.
nights we have been going to bed after midnight, which is holy Jennifer Jupiters. Even last night was 11 o'clock. And somebody didn't get up till about 10.
I'm tired. And we didn't have anything to do anyway.
Well, Emory HVAC was supposed to come down, but he ended up not making it today.
Well, if you would have wanted to go next door, you could have said, I'll be back later. And I'd have said, later.
But they all asked, where's Dan man? Where's Dan man?
Sleeping. You could have told them.
They said that when I was over there at Speeds, they were asking where you were at. And I said,
Mm.
you went down to the other vendor and talking to them.
Mm.
I said, well, so, but I mean, it is okay. You know, hopefully they'll get some stuff going on. And like I said, one of the days we were planning on doing that ferry, going up to New Jersey and doing that ride and stuff. And that would have took a whole day there. And that would have been kind of exciting. We were going to go out to the Oasis bar. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oasis. And that's where they had the midgets last year. Had a lot of fun. It was crazy. Well, I found out they don't do the same people all the time. They had those.
The freak show.
Yeah. And I can't really show that crap on here.
The swallowing swords and
hooking themselves and pulling their nose up and being hung by a hook and all kinds of crazy shit. And we're not going to show any of that. And so we ended up, we thought Emory HVAC was going to come back down. Rider X really didn't want to go over there. He wasn't impressed with dirty and all that. He's just not with the dirt, the dust and all that. He wasn't that impressed with it. So he didn't really want to go. So it would have been by ourselves. And we thought, well, if Ron came back, we would go ahead and go with Emory HVAC and we would go over there during that time. Well, he ended up having to go look at a job and he didn't make it back. That he had to go check something out and he ended up not making it back. So we ended up saying,
I messaged you on Facebook, Neil. He says he didn't know anything about this.
It's Sunday. It's earlier, but it's still Sunday.
Yep.
And so there you go. Everybody's asking you a bunch of stuff, Neil. Go back and watch all the comments. They asked you a million things. But I mean, it is what it is. And next year will probably definitely be better. It's a newer company. They got a lot more equipment. There's some things we got to talk to them about. They had some issues over here at the convention center, which doesn't affect you more than it did the vendors. We need to kind of help them get that straightened out. They had a lot of issues trying to get out of here tonight. You could only get out one way. Well, to start out with, they really screwed up the parking.
In and out. Oh my
Well,
God.
it's always been messed up here anyway, because if you've ever been here, there's one light to get in, and it's really hard to get in and out of this place. Well, what they did is, if you've come here before, if you were coming from the inlet, coming to the convention center, you would pass up the light in the entrance. We went to the next light. We made U-turns. Well, with this vendor or this promoter, I don't know if the police told them. I don't know how they found out about this, but they decided at that light, let's have people turn left, come in, go behind, in front of the convention center, behind the vendors, and come across, go to that next parking lot that we have always parked in, and go in there. At first, it was okay because it wasn't very many people here. Then it got to be insane. So here's my suggestion. If you're on here, Ocean City Rock and Roll, you have an exit down here. That is the entrance. Make that the entrance to the parking lot, and then have the normal exit that you go out and you make the right-hand turn, but they already got the cone, so we don't even need to stop. Would roll so much smoother.
I don't think it would.
Yes, it would.
Because where you're turning right to get out and where they're turning left to get in, or turning right to get in, it's all gonna jump up.
But it's not
because
that
these
busy.
people are trying to get out and these people are trying to get in, and you're gonna have this.
Your only other choice is close the convention center down. This would still be better than the mess we had here. Because what ended up happening is you have this left turn light, which we did it too, that once the arrow turns off, and it's just a green light, the bikes just steadily go. And they're not letting any of the cars go forward. So we happened to be at the other end yesterday, and we couldn't get out because everybody was trying to turn right in there. and it was backed up 2 blocks, 2 traffic lights back. It was blocked up, and you had to get all the way over to the farthest lane to get around it. So I don't know. Then if the only other way to do it is do it the opposite way, then run them through the back of the vendor lot and have them go out that other light then
To get out.
But to get in that way, it was just massive confusion because people was trying to find, because there is some parking there. Mostly it's cars, probably vendors are parking in there. And people are trying to squeeze in all those spots, and they're cutting through the vendors' booths with their bikes and stuff. It was just total chaos. So if they wanted to do that, see, the problem is there's a road there. That's the road we're on. And if we were driving a car, all the people that live back here or are staying back here for condos have to get out that way. Well, they really wanted to block it off to where you couldn't.
Nobody was using this road.
Come in or out. But you couldn't do that. So when the bikes are coming behind, which you're going to see this on the video, and I'll explain it on the video, maybe a little more understanding to you. When you're running along parallel with the vendors and then in front of the convention center on this little bitty skinny road, because there's other stuff parked on there. There's people bringing motorcycles across there because the dealership had their mess back there, and it just was too much going on. And
chaotic.
What they should have done was they should have got some way to get a walkway to go over from the parking lot to the vendor's location. That would have saved a lot of it. But I have no idea what it would take to put a walkway not big enough that cars and trucks could drive underneath it. Because that was the problem, was getting people, because you're trying to get bikes through there and people are walking across the same place, so the bikes couldn't go through. They tried to make it one, but it still didn't work out. It was just a mess. And so they've got to correct that. This is worse. It was worse than it was before coming in the in and out the same entrance.
Hey, Bob and Tim, I've been using that hype button and it's cool. I got 790 points for one hit.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. They only let me hype 3 times a week.
Yeah. And somebody else told me the same thing, that I think Neil told me that you can only do so many and that's it, which is fine. So, hey, hopefully it'll get our videos going. Here, the videos didn't go real well. We didn't have as much content as what I wanted. Like I said, I was hoping my video probably Saturday would have done really well because we were going to walk around the vendors. I got a new cordless microphone that we can hook up to the camera. And we were going to talk. It could Bluetooth it and everything. So it'd be really cool. And we were going to walk around, but the gimbal was all screwed up. It wouldn't work. And I think it's broke now. I don't think it works at all. And so I'm going to have to send it back to Amazon. So we'll see what happens with that. But so that didn't work out. And that's unless I do something.
You too, Tom.
So, but I mean, it's the weather was really good. Other than Wednesday, we've had perfect weather. It's a little cloudy today. It got up to about 80 today. It's a little cooler now. Let me see what the temperature is now.
It's getting chilly. It got nice today. I actually had a tank top on.
So it's 6:05. Let's see. Oops. It is 71 degrees still. So not bad.
Cool for me because the sun's going down too.
Can't get up.
My doctor appointment was moved from Thursday to Tuesday. Now I'm in more ready, but the only thing is it's still swelling. Yep. Can you get through? Wow. 4 inches of snow up north of you. Burr. I got another eye appointment Tuesday. Okay, so they're talking about their doctor's appointments. So we'll have to see. When I go back, I think I have to go back to the doctor too. I want to do an endoscope since I've got this crazy cough I can't get rid of. And then sometimes if I eat something too dry, it gets stuck in my throat. So I think I might have a stricture in my esophagus. So we'll see what happens. I called and had the doctor's appointment. I had a Zoom conference call with him, and then they said my office will call and make the appointment. I haven't heard from him yet, and that must have been the day we got into Vegas. So it must have been last Monday. So it's been over a week. Would have thought if they wanted me to get in to get it done, they'd have called by now. But we'll see how that goes. But like I said, I still haven't adjusted to this East Coast time. Then we'll be in at our daughter, so that'll be Central Time, and we'll be probably there. I don't know, about 3 weeks in Central Time Zone, and then we'll come back. No, because then we're going to go to BikeFest and Barbecue. That's still Central Time Zone, and then we go down. to Daytona, and then that'll be East Coast time again. So I don't know
So
why.
we'll show you, for those that didn't get to see, because Neil just came on, we'll show you where we're at. Let's see. Camera. Hang on, I'm untying the knot in the cord. Trying to.
Wow. XM Biker says he's lost 14 pounds in 4 weeks on Manjaro. Good for you.
Pretty slick. So this is where it's not very focused very good because it's looking at the stupid poles. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can snap this on here or not.
Don't lose it.
Yes. There, you can talk and I'll hold it.
Just hold the phone up to your mouth and the doctor can do a chat. Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. What are you taking? Yes, Manjaro is what he said he was taking to lose the weight. It's 94 in Vegas and hopefully no more hundreds. Wow, that would be nice. Nice warm weather. We're all going to Sturgis next summer. Probably be there about the same time. We'll probably get there early June, probably like June 9th, or I guess that's what we got there last year.
We've got another. We have another campground that wants us to do some videos for their YouTube channel, or not the YouTube channel, but for their page.
Their
website. And so which will end up being in Sturgis the whole 9 weeks. So we're going to spend 2 weeks there working on them video, and then they're going to put it on their website and their Facebook page, and then we'll move over to Kathmandu. It's a campground that's actually, they don't want to advertise for Sturgis. They want to get people to start coming in.
They're
other
open,
times,
not year round, but the
half the
season
year.
from Memorial Day till Labor Day.
And so they wanted some stuff to put on there. So they're not going to be a sponsor. They're just giving us, we're just making them a video for their website. So they won't really be a sponsor. They're just going to sponsor us to make a video for them for 2 weeks. So we're going to be there and do that. And then we'll let you know when we get there where we're at there. But we'll do all of our rides and everything from Sturgis next year.
Yes, Kathmandu is taking reservations for next year.
Book now. Everybody's open.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a thing, and if you're wanting concert tickets, if you're thinking about going to the Full Throttle Saloon or the Buffalo Chip, buy them now. They are the lowest you're going to see. The Buffalo Chip's already talking about making an announcement. We haven't got a hold of Michael Ballard yet to see how he is. I know he's working on bands too. So you're probably going to start hearing bands very soon. And I'm going to be betting by the time we get close to rally time in 2026, you're probably looking at about $500 per passes. Even over at Glencoe's already up to like $389 or something now for their
starting just now.
Yeah. And they got nothing going on over there. Not any bands that are mounting anything.
A lot of nakedness.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on there. So if you got any questions about Ocean City, we've got our next one coming up is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And we're going to be there the weekend before. Let me look at my thing here and see what we got going on. Let you know what day we actually arrive.
So we're Ocean City?
No.
Biketoberfest?
Yeah.
The night.
No, not Biketoberfest.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue?
Yeah. What's that Friday?
That's on my calendar.
So the 26th, we will be there September 26th. So if you're coming, wanting to get there early for Bikes, Blues, Barbecue, I know some of you are coming down for that first weekend. So from the 26th through the 30th, we're going to be doing a bunch of rides and stuff, getting ready for things. We'll probably end up going down to Branson and back, check out that ride, because we're looking to maybe do a ride on Thursday, a ride down to Branson. So the rally actually starts on the 1st through the 4th. So we'll be there in Eureka Springs until the 5th, which will be Sunday. Sunday, we'll be heading back out. So we'll be there that whole time doing bikes, riding, and all that kind of good stuff. And then when we get to Biketoberfest, I think we get in there on the 9th. Yep. We will be there the 9th through the 20th.
That's what we figured.
Of October.
Tom said my old Army buddy called me yesterday and said Kid Rock would be there. He's 100% sure.
Money's got it. You probably might have heard us talk about it. We just got done talking to Marcus, and he kind of said the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, we figure the Buffalo Chip has got a very good connection with
Kid Rock.
and also with Jelly Roll. Now I'm betting money. I'll bet money Kid Rock for sure. Jelly Roll, I don't know. I don't know if he's got anything set up for next year already or not. But I'm betting money. I'm not going to bet money, but I'll bet money that Kid Rock will be there.
Been invited, but he hasn't confirmed yet.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Jelly Roll's going to be coming too. So, because what happens is they're the only two bands or singers or whatever you want to say that
aren't connected to Live Nation.
Well, they do Live Nation concerts, but they will not sign a contract exclusively with them. So that's kind of that. So I think it's going to be. We've already set up for Daytona Bike Week. We'll be arriving down there the Tuesday before Bike Week, and we stay in again until that Tuesday after the week. So once again, we'll be there early. We still got to get everything else ironed out, but we figured we'll be able to get all that should be taken care of when we get down to Biketoberfest. But it jumped up for us $300 more for tickets for us to fly round trip. It was $1,000 last year. It cost me $1,368 or something this time to fly round trip. So a little more expensive this year than last year for us. Now, right now, we don't know about Leesburg and we don't know about Panama City or Myrtle Beach yet. We're still in negotiations. One, we're trying to find a bike. I really don't want to ship my bike out again next year. We're going to try to go at Leesburg. We're hoping John at Leesburg will let me use a bike during that. It's only 3 or 4 days, so it's not like it's the whole time. They don't have a real big rally over there. But then Panama City, I don't know what we're going to do for a bike in Panama City. I don't know. I have no idea yet. We're not really that connected with the dealership there. If anybody's connected with Panama City, see if they loan us a bike for the
Mike
rally.
Don is.
Maybe even talk to
the Indian dealer.
No. Who do you know? Oh no, that's
City?
in Daytona. That Rod King works for.
Oh. Disney?
Ratfink.
Oh, Ratfink.
Yeah, but that's the wrong dealership.
Yeah.
So I just got to find out if somebody's got any connections.
No,
with...
Tom, he said he got rid of his Indian yesterday. So he's bikeless.
Holy
no.
smokes. I might be able to try to get the Indian dealer there. Might give me something too. I don't know. I don't know if the Indian demo trucks, if they're tied in. Because if we could find out in Panama City, if the truck is paid for by the dealership, we might be able to get one from Harley Davidson. But I know in Myrtle Beach, they're not. So we're going to try to get Steven to talk to the dealership and see. Because we know the sales guys are really good with us, sales manager and stuff. Maybe he can sneak us the bike out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens on those. Those rallies aren't in the books yet. We'll have to figure them out. I keep telling her she needs to call John at Leesburg so we at least could get one-way ticket now to know we're going. Because I said I wouldn't mind buying. I'll pay for the hotel, but I'm not getting a bike and a hotel and a car and all that at the same time. That's it. That rally's not big enough for that. 4-day rallies, we didn't make any money here. If it wasn't for sponsorship, wasn't for Ron at Emory HVAC helping us get a place here, getting us a bike to ride, we wouldn't be here. It just isn't. It isn't feasible, and we can't spend that kind of money anymore. We don't make that kind of money. We're not that big of a YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody watching us. We love giving out everybody information.
And we appreciate all the support we do get from a lot of our subscribers.
That's right. And then we've also got our sponsors that kind of help us do this. But it's just like we just got done talking to somebody a while ago about a sponsorship. And as I told him, I said, we're not one of these guys that are asking for $20,000 or $30,000. You know, we start out at $1,000 and go to $3,500. Now, of course, we would take more, but we're looking just to pay for car rental or pay for motels and airfares to get us there. So it's kind of like what Daytona did here. A lot of people, some of the people in Sturgis are moaning and groaning because we're running too many ads for Daytona. They said, so it sounds like that's your #1 rally. Oh no, they paid for a 3-month deal. For 3 months, this is all I got to do. Once the Daytona BikeFest is over, I don't have to do any more videos for them unless they do something next year. So
we're promoting their rally for us, and that's
right.
what they paid us to do. So
so actually, we didn't even have to go. We could have just did videos and that's it. But I said, hey, for the money you're giving us, it's paying for the airplane and it's paying for the rental car that we've got. So I'm like, we'll come. We'll that way I can also get more footage because I know what they want now, and I can get more footage to where I could do better videos next year for them. And then the other guy that just got done talking to us, he might be only interested in us doing some videos just before the rally, only the pre-stuff that we do, which would be good too, because that makes it easier for me. Because it's tough when we're doing all these videos, because tomorrow we got a video coming back out for BikeToberfest. Got another one telling you some more cool stuff that's going on there and stuff like that. So check that out. If you're going down there, don't forget about Heavy Ed down there. Midwest Cycles got that motorcycle for $300 out the door. You can rent a bike. Taxes, insurance, towing. Only thing you got to do is put gas in it.
All the fees.
Yep.
So Tom says he's heard Richard Rawlings is thinking about opening another gas monkey in Deadwood.
I don't know where you go with that. I don't know. I didn't hear any of that. I'm not saying it's not true, but I don't know why you would. Unless he was going to dump this one. Dump the one in Sturgis and go over there. Because this one here, he hasn't got the food down right. But see, he really wants the businesses to open year round. I know that because he really wanted to keep it open. You can't. Sturgis is too small. And you already got a dozen places that are open year round with food anyway. And the people aren't. Sturgis is not a tourist town. There's some guy that's got a Sturgis page and he goes on and on and on about how they're only paying people $13 an hour to $15 an hour. It's such a low income place, and to rent an apartment's $900. $900. You want to? Well, I can jump on that. We might be able to rent one in Sturgis for $900. You know, we're in a poor area too, and to rent an apartment, it's $1,500 for people making $13 an hour. So I said, do you ever travel anywhere? I said, you really harp a lot on the Black Hills, how they're not good pay. There's not good jobs. I said, there's probably 1,000 cities that are in the same exact basket. 90% of the people in the world or in the United States is working paycheck to paycheck. And that's what he said. Well, if the guy's only making, $12 an hour, he's only making, or $15 an hour. He's only bringing $1,200 a month or $1,200 a week, and he's got to take taxes out of that. He's probably, his whole paycheck is going for the 1 week. Well, he's doing pretty good because a lot of people take some 2 or 3 weeks of paychecks to pay their rent. Yeah. So I don't know what they're thinking. I said, just like in California, we made really good money in California, but the house we rented was what, $3,000 a month?
Yep.
That wasn't big.
No.
Apartment, an efficiency apartment, 1 bedroom was $1,895, and this is 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's people there making $15 an hour.
Carolina. Janice lives.
So yeah, it's every place. He tried to say Disneyland was it's so cheap to live. Well, I googled it. I googled Kissimmee and said, what's the average rate? And it came up to like $2,000 a month for 1 bedroom. He goes, well, there's other areas. Well, if you're working at Disneyland, I don't think you could live down in some little puck town in the middle of Florida that has nothing around it. But I mean, if you're going to stay anywhere in Orlando or Kissimmee or Daytona or any major city, town, anywhere close to that, you're not going to get under much of $2,000 a month. And once again, people are only making, Florida is the lowest paying state in the nation. Arizona is like number 3 or 4. But I don't know where South Dakota ranks.
No.
But they're not number 1 for being the worst.
Rick says Deadwood is an all-season town. I stay there in the winter for
which it is.
Snowmobile.
And the only reason it's successful is because of the gambling.
Yeah.
That's what makes it. But I mean, the problem is there's no parking there. It's like we do. A couple of years ago, we were there during the street vibrations or whatever they were calling it, hot Deadwood nights with the cars and stuff. And we only had the truck. And it's like, I'm not driving all the way from Rapid City parking in the dark, coming back on a motorcycle. I'm like, no, that ain't going to happen. Bad enough driving in a truck or a car and have to hit a deer or a sheep or a goat or whatever the hell's standing on the road, some crazy man, whatever's out there. But I mean, I don't do that. We don't ride around the Black Hills in the dark. That's my rule.
But Sasquatch.
But yeah, he would definitely do better if he had a store there, but I don't think he would have 2. I think he would dump the Sturgis one, but I don't know any.
He put so much money in that store.
Yeah. Plus he's got a liquor license there and it's only good, I think, in Sturgis. I don't think that liquor license he can take to Deadwood. That I don't think so.
Yes, there are. There are going to be fireworks at Rushmore next year.
Yes, there is.
He said no 4th of July fireworks at my Mount Rushmore next year.
It's all set up. Must be Trump's coming. 250th birthday of the United States. Told them Indians tough crap. We're going to have fireworks like we did in 2020.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. So that's why they didn't end up not having them this year. They're supposed to have them this year. And then they decided, stop the Indians from complaining. Let's go ahead and just make it for to the 250th. So that's his. We'll know more come around the first of the year because that's when we're going to go try to get our tickets. We're going to call in our notes that people owe us and see if we can get us 2 sit-down seats to watch the fireworks.
Yep.
So that's the plan.
All right. We've been on an hour and a half.
Anything else anybody wants to ask before we wrap it up here in Ocean City? Now, we will have a live probably next Sunday. We'll be at our daughter's house, so we'll probably have a live from there. Probably bounce back to the regular time, back to the 4 o'clock, because it'll be 5 o'clock there, normal time. So we came on an hour earlier tonight, or 2 hours early. I guess we came 2 hours earlier tonight. Yeah, because that would have been, it'd be 6 o'clock at her house. So there would have been 7 o'clock here. We would have came on, but we didn't want to stay up that late. I thought we could give you some great shots of the water, have it behind us, but it kind of blacked us out. You couldn't really see us. Now, there's one thing I want to tell you about this rally. There was a very diverse crowd here, variety of different ethnic groups.
Danny, how you doing?
Here, we also had a lot of variety of bikes. We did a bunch of interviews, which I don't know if I put them all on yet or not. A lot of people riding Hondas, a lot of Gold Wings. People were riding out here. A lot of Kawasaki's, a lot of Suzuki's, a lot of crotch rockets. You know, this is pretty much a rally that there's a lot of Harleys, but there's a lot more of other bikes here too. There's probably, I'd say 25 to 40% of the bikes here are not Harley Davidsons.
Yep. There's a lot of diversity.
Probably the biggest one I've seen when it came to bikes. Now, down in Florida or Texas, Galveston, they probably have the biggest diversity of people.
Yep.
Here, it's mostly 2 nationalities, maybe 3 at the most. But very, very nice, very a variety. Now, what are they laughing about?
Pope. He said he wasn't impressed with the Gas Monkey. He ranks it right up there with Cracker Barrel. He's the one that we went to Cracker Barrel, and he didn't like it.
No, didn't like that fried chicken they got. We were gonna go to Cracker Barrel the other day, but we drove past it. Oh, it was on the way coming here. Maybe we'll stop on the way back tomorrow and have lunch there.
As long as Jeffrey Pope don't have to go. That's funny.
But I mean, their pizza's really good at the Gas Monkey Garage. But see, last year, not this year here, but when he opened up last year, he said he was going to come out with this really great menu with some of the best food you could ever eat. And ended up, but I mean, they changed the whole staff over. There is nobody that we knew from the first year at Gas Monkey that was there this year, other than Richard. Even the video guy is a new guy. Yeah. His YouTube guy is somebody else. Yeah, everybody.
Because last time we knew most of the girls and the bartenders and stuff. The cook in the back knew us. The videographer knew us. Everybody knew us. And then this year was like, everybody's like, who are you? It's like, get out of my way. And I'm like,
yeah, because the manager was kind of rude to us. And it's like,
Tom says Gas Monkey got him for a slice of pizza and a beer for $19. I didn't know they just sold slice pizza.
I didn't know that either at the Gas Monkey.
I thought you had to just buy the whole darn pizza.
We ate the pizza there, and it really wasn't that bad a price.
Hey, there's Kenneth Copeland. How are you doing?
Yep, I haven't seen Kenneth in a long time.
No, did you go to? Oh, I guess he only came up to see us. I think to
new Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue coming up.
Yeah,
come see us.
That's closer. Yeah, that's
he's coming from Texas.
I know, but I mean it's closer than Lake of the Ozarks. More cages than I've ever seen in OC. Oh, cars. Yeah, I guess. Don
says. It's a tourist area.
Yeah.
Just like Myrtle Beach, Daytona. Sturgis is really the only rally that we do that you see more motorcycles. Now, there's probably some small places, maybe Four Corners. They might have a lot of bikes during that time because there's not much going on in that area. I mean, but typically when there's a tourist area, this is really a tourist area. This is worse than anywhere else because people only come here for tourism, to where the town is dying here because of that problem. They've jacked the prices up so high. Most of these places are making you do a 3-day stay minimum. So it's like if you only want to come from Friday and Saturday, you're stuck either coming Thursday night or staying Sunday night because they don't give you a choice. And a lot of these places are $400.
That's what the lady from the radio station said. They're pricing themselves out because they said this was a huge family vacation area and people would come for a week or 2 weeks and stay. And she said now people can only come for.
So they got one of these things that slingshot thing that shoots you up in the air with 2 people on it. How much was that?
$75.
One time.
to fly up in the air and come down.
20 if you want them to videotape you with no
Another
guarantee.
20.
Yeah. And just to get the regular little ride, to ride on all the little carnival rides they have there, which I thought that included, but apparently it doesn't. I don't know if there's any other ones. It was $40. So if you got a couple of kids, you're already paying $400 a night to stay here. And then the food's not the cheapest in the world either. I mean, most places were $15 hamburgers. Almost every place we ate, I pretty much today was like $17 and $19 for the food we have. People complain all the time about prices of like sturgeons and stuff. Do you ever go anywhere else? You must sit at home and cook your hamburgers and eat your breakfast and everything, because pretty much every time we go to an area, and they didn't raise prices here for this. This is their normal everyday prices here. But
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is October 1st through the 4th.
And we'll be there the week before.
Yeah. But Kenneth said he was planning on going up that maybe just that Saturday.
Okay.
Kenneth Copeland.
Yep.
So
Let us know.
know.
We'll be there.
You got
Eureka
our
Springs
number.
will be mostly in Eureka Springs most of the time, but we will be going to the Rogers several times
He
throughout
said it's
the
about
week.
5 hours from Dallas, from where
Okay.
he's at. So that's not too bad.
You gonna take your motorcycle up, or you gonna ride the big truck?
The
drive semi.
Boar's Nest had good food. That's in across from Louis.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Meade.
And it was okay. I just had a regular burger there. It was okay.
Bacon
I mean, there's a
cheeseburger.
lot of, like, we had the
Ding.
deep
Gary
fried
D.
beef tips that were at the Iron Horse this year, or the Lot American,
Mhm.
and they were excellent. I had it 4 or 5 times. That was really good. We found the best burger. The Sugar Shack had the best burger. Second one was Cheyenne Crossing. That was excellent. But I mean, there's a lot of places that, we ate at the Pizza Ranch. Their food was pretty good, and that's the cheapest place probably to eat for as much as you get.
XM Biker said the best burger in Eureka Springs is at the Cat House. I'm sure.
But are
we've
you
had it
saying
there.
that?
Huh?
Are you saying that because Jeff told?
No, no. He says the Cat House in Eureka Springs, best burger anywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't say
Okay.
the best anywhere. Unless
Okay,
we'll have to
Kenneth.
try it again.
Yeah.
There we eat. We don't always eat there. We only eat there a couple of times, and being that we're there all the time. Now, I don't know where he's going to put us at. He originally said we might be staying at the Cat House. I didn't realize the Cat House closed at midnight. I thought it was up to open till like 1 or 2, like most bars are. And it was like, because he said, you guys want to stay here? You can stay over there at the other end, and it's not so bad. I said, well, we don't want to stay up all night. And he said, oh, no, everybody's going to be out here by midnight. And I'm like, oh, well, then I don't care. That's fine. As long as we got a place to park the motorcycle and a place to park the car.
Kenneth says he'll ride the bike.
There you go. And but Berryville out there, they're supposed to be having some stuff out there. We're going to try to get that going for them. Hopefully next year or so, it could be kind of good. We've been talking to some of the vendors about coming out there, Speeds, and maybe we can get Amzol Adam or something to come back out here. Or maybe
Oh, there's Lisa.
if he don't do it, maybe we'll call this other Amzol we got. He might want to come out there. So we'll see how that all works out. So hopefully next year, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue will go back to their normal weekend, get back out of October again. So that way it's bang, bang, bang. Then it'll be the weekend right after this is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And then it goes to Daytona Biketoberfest. And then it all starts. Everything's kind of backwards because then you go to Myrtle Beach, then you go to Panama City, then you go to Galveston. Now, we're not doing any of those 3, but everybody else is doing that.
No, I think it's Myrtle Beach, Daytona, Panama City, and then Galveston, because it goes in a row. Up for us heading back that one year when we did it.
And I thought maybe she was going to sponsor us. She asked us if we were going to do Galveston.
Thanks, Lisa.
Said, most of the smaller rallies, what hurts us is just it's not so bad to find us a place to stay, but to get a motorcycle now is the hardest thing, and it's not worth us to any of these rallies other than Sturgis and Arizona Bike Week. It's not worth dragging the trailer all out for all that. And my bike needs to get some work done, so I kind of holding that off to try to figure out what's going on with that.
And the family truckster has issues.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that yet. We had a big disaster breakdown on the way to Vegas this year, last week. So more to find about that. And so that'll be
Such is life, right?
Yeah, it's part of doing what we do. So
Could be worse.
So since Lisa come on, we'll show her where we're at. She didn't get to see all that. There's my boat down there. We're going boating a while ago. Sometimes we take one of those boats. We only half invested in that one. This one is our boat. Thunder Road. We're going to change it to say Bob and Tam on there. Woo!
All right.
There's my
You're
swimming
making
pool.
everybody
They
dizzy.
didn't have no hot tub.
Nope.
That sucked. we're going to go out in the hot tub. And I'm like, where the hell's the hot tub at? So if you look way over there is the inlet. Let me set
If
that.
you go, can you see the Ferris wheel? It's that way.
Which way?
See the Ferris wheel?
That's not that. There's two Ferris wheels. I don't think that's the one for the
Inlet?
Yeah, that's the other one. When you go by, there's another one. I think that's the second one. Yeah, the inlet's farther down that way. It's all the way at the end. So you can still see buildings farther down. But I don't think it's that way.
No.
So there you go. So that's like the condos here we're in, but ours looks like that one over there. It's got the big balcony on it. We got the big sliding doors here. I can't take you. My phone's messed up, so I can't show you what it looks like. So this, you got to talk to it. I can't hear.
Oh, so that's where we're staying.
I'll go pull the door open.
Hey.
See in there?
Not really. It's too dark. No. Oh.
So all right, we're probably gonna go get something else to eat. They got a Hooters down here. All of our Hooters went out of business, and so we don't have Hooters around anymore. Even the one in Vegas is closed.
Yep.
We closed that one up.
Don't drop it.
The one in
It's attached.
you could unplug.
I guess.
I don't know if the thing's even this plug's even charging or not. Let me look at the power. I got it plugged in, but it shows it's not charging. Yeah, it's charging. I didn't know if this plug was live or not out here or not, but it was pretty charged up when I started. So with that, any more questions before we head off tonight?
Everything about. Oh, I didn't really want to bring that up.
What?
Charlie Kirk.
Uh,
It's a sad day in America. That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
I only started really watching Charlie Kirk about a year and a half ago. Very sad. We're not going to get real. I don't know if you want to consider it politics, religion, or whatever, but I mean it's very sad. It's very sad that our country has gotten to the level that people can't speak their mind. I don't believe in gun control or anything like that. We own guns. We just got our gun registrations just renewed. They should be there by the time we get home. We have concealed permits. Took training and all that kind of stuff. I've been shooting guns since before I rode a bicycle. But it's sad that people, and maybe it is the internet. Maybe it is the social media of these people that, just like the AI now, there's so much, and I harp about this all the time. There's so much fake crap coming out that isn't even true. Just like they told, President Trump is causing Harley Davidson to go bankrupt. That's old news. That crap was back in 2020 when he ran the first time he went and talked to Harley about not building in America and stuff. They weren't going bankrupt. They're not going bankrupt. Not at this moment. Who knows? 5-10 years down the road, nobody knows what's going to be here. We may not even have any rallies by that time. Who knows? But it's just crazy that here's a guy, which, like I say, I really liked what he used to say when he went to the schools, because the colleges and stuff, that he really sat there and if you've never watched the man, don't listen to what they say on TV, no matter what it is. Go back and sit down and watch hours of his videos. If you're one of my personal subscribers to my personal page, which I don't let everybody on there, but I actually put one the other day, actually this morning. That was actually one that got like 1 billion views. And it was something he used during the election, but it was very, very unique how some people were voting for one person. And he said, well, tell me one thing that person's done in their life that's helped you. Well, they did this. Well, how did that help you? Well, what have they done since they've been doing this? They couldn't answer it. Nothing. They just voted because they hated the other guy. Well, where's this hate coming from that we have in America now? It's just insane.
America has a heart problem. That's what's wrong.
Yeah. And it's just sad. And now I know everybody came out. Adam Sandoval came out with a video the other day, and he didn't want to get political or anything on there like that. But it's just like, this guy, Charlie, he was very, what I was more impressed than anything else when I first started watching him is he's uneducated. He's never been to college. He's learned everything from reading the books. He read the Bible. He can quote things, and it's exactly right. And to look at that and just go, wow, I was just so thrown away, impressed by what he knew. Like there was a guy the other day before the shooting last week, and he was talking to this guy, and he said, this guy was quoting something in the Bible, and he said, well, show me it. Read it to me. So somebody handed the guy a Bible, and he's looking through it. He's back by Revelations, and he's like, you're a little too far in the Bible. You need to back up. Whoever he was with, which I think it was like somebody, a newscaster or something, with a girl was sitting next. She brought it up on her phone. And she said, Charlie, I've got this if you want me to read it to him. And so Charlie looked to the guy, and the guy still thumbed through the Bible. And he said, she's got it. Would you like her to read it? It was about slavery. He tried to say that it was in the Bible that you could have slavery, that the Bible not endorsed it, but recommended, thought slavery was fine. That's not the exact words they use. But so when they found the verse, the lady read it and didn't say anything about that. And then so Charlie turned to the guy and said, well, what is it of that verse we want to talk about? He goes, well, I want to talk about this one now, because that one didn't tell him what he really wanted to say. So then they looked another one up, and the guy read it, but he added words to it that wasn't there. So it was, now I'm not saying he never got mad at anybody, but all the videos I've been watching this last year and a half, I never seen him yell at somebody. And some people said that, he didn't like gays and different things like that. But it's what he's doing is he never said he hated anybody that I've ever seen. But he just said in the Bible, it says that, they made man and woman. And some of his argument was kind of good, because it almost sometimes made you laugh, because he would, like, for instance, he would say, what sex are you? Well, I want to be identified as a girl. Well, what's the difference between a man and a woman? Well, then they really couldn't answer that question. And he did one the other on this video that I put up. They got these million views. One of the things that they talked about, somebody else was sitting there with him, was in one of the little clips that they had. They put a whole bunch of them together that said, I just forgot where I was going. And I don't remember what I was going to say now. But that they were saying that that some college took a bunch of men and one at a time and locked them into a room, no sound, no nothing, and locked them up. When they brought them out, it ended up, when they did the survey of all the people there, guys thought of two things: sports and sex. That was it. So they locked women up and did the same thing to them. What they all came back with, what do you think they came back with? They thought about the conversations they had earlier in the day with other people. If they said it right, if they thought, maybe I should have said more and all that. And it's like, when they said that, I was like, I don't know what women think, but as a guy, I'm not a big sports guy, but I think about other things, but I do think about sex too. But I think all guys think about that. But that's kind of where it was really funny, and people there laughed at the same time when they said that. But nobody deserves to be shot. And, some people are trying to say it's the same as George Floyd and things like that. And it's not the same.
What were
thing.
The riots then?
Yeah. And what is, because at first that was my answer, is why would God do anything like this? And there's probably, it started, the largest movement in history is starting now. There's people now that actually go on the internet and say, my name is Charlie Kirk. I'm taking his place. They're going to have a service next Sunday. The stadium holds 60,000 people. They're expecting 100,000 plus. Trump showing up. A whole lot of people are going to be showing up at this in Phoenix.
We were home week ago.
Yeah, I almost would fly home for it. But it's going to be, it's his memorial, it's his funeral and all that kind of stuff. And to be able to see his wife talk less than 48 hours later, that was just priceless. He's got 2 kids. And besides that, when all these stupid people that are saying stuff on TV or on the internet, people that are famous and stuff like that, that's why they get called out, because they're famous, or they've got a high job. I used to work at a utility company in California, very large one. And they told you, things that you say on social media could come back to a termination. Now, remember, we have free speech, but you need to look up what free speech is. That the government can't come back after you. Now, if you're in a state that is maybe a right to work state, you might have some leverage, or if you had a union, you might have some leeway that you might be able to get your job back. Now, I do see some people that are not giving their job back. But if it was a college, especially there's a lot of these people that are school teachers and stuff, or professors, or whatever they might be. Do you want these people teaching your kids, your grandkids, that think shooting somebody and killing them because you don't agree with what they say, that's okay? That means they're teaching your kids that kind of crap. That is unacceptable. So yes, all these people that are in jobs that pertain to training or schooling or anything like that, yes, they should definitely be terminated, because they have evil in their hearts and their minds to think that killing somebody, and these people that call him a Nazi and stuff, it's because the media does all this kind of stuff like this. Look up a Nazi and see the things. They're like, well, they propaganded this and this and this.
Fascist.
And the problem, right, the first thing you have to say, and Charlie always said this too, is a fascist didn't believe in like a free economy or believe that you could do anything you want. And Charlie, one of the things that he did the other day that I found was somebody asked him what he thought. Somebody in college that wants to go out and get a job, what would he recommend to them? And that's what he basically said was, you need to go out and find a good paying job. Either go to school and learn to do a trade, or get something that you learn something to do, make a difference in the world. And if you get a family, be willing to throw your body in front of them. If somebody was going to shoot your kids or your family, would you be man enough to throw your body in front of that bullet? And say, make yourself somebody, instead of sitting there and playing the Game Boy or whatever it's called now. I don't play games, so I don't know. Get off the internet. The internet is bad. All this social media and these people just bad mouthing. And most of them, which I find out from being on YouTube, we get a lot of trolls. Somebody asked a while back why I don't respond to negative comments. I just write, thank you for watching. Glad you enjoyed it, because when I first started, I used to respond to some of those stupid people and they never wrote me back. So they were trolls. And I tell people all the time, if you really have a problem with something we do or something I say, write me an email. And if you want to talk about it on a video, I'll make a video and show your email and we can talk about it publicly. I don't have a problem with that. But once again, this is my channel. I can do as I please, as long as YouTube don't throw me off. But I mean, other than that, it's my channel. And sometimes some people say that, well, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? Well, you send me, it's like Laconia. People say all the time, why don't you go back to Laconia? Why don't you do that? Would you like to fly us in? Do you have a place for us to stay? You got me a motorcycle to ride? I'll put it on the schedule for next year. I got no problem with that. But no, for us to drive across the United States to go to that rally, we made maybe $500 to $1,000 off of that rally. And it's going to cost me $2,000 to $3,000, maybe more, maybe $5,000 to get there. I'm home. That ain't worth it. Yep. I'm not in the business to go any broker than I already am. So that's the same reason. There is nobody out here other than us that hit all these motorcycle rallies. Even though we've cut back to where we're not, the handful that we do is still not as many as that's out there. There's probably hundreds of rallies that we never even make it to. There's day rallies, there's 3-day rallies, there's 2-day rallies. There's, just a lot of them that we just don't go. So that's kind of what I never met the man. We did see him in Las Vegas last year during the election time. He was actually going to be there, and I've actually seen Trump talk to. Never had an opportunity to do that. And we actually seen other politicians over the years that get close enough to us. I like to listen to everybody. I try to keep an open mind to anything. Am I 100% either way? No. I voted both ways. I voted Republican, I voted Democrat, and somebody's voted independent before. So, but we don't have a problem talking about it.
We just always looked and seen who was running, and we voted for the person we thought.
Well, we used to always say, we always had a saying.
Are you any better off this year?
Well, besides that, what evil are we going to vote for that's going to do the least amount of harm to us? That's really what politics, they're all crooks. Everybody out there that's in politics, because you have to play dirty to win. You have to play dirty to get anything done, because I've told people before, when I ran the union in California, they wanted me to run for Senate. And I said the problem is Nancy Pelosi was in charge of the House at that time. If I ran for Orange County, California, ran for a Senate seat, and I won it, let's say I need to get $1 million to redo some roads, I'd have to go to Nancy Pelosi first to ask her to get it through, help me push it through the House. And I can tell you, as soon as I got done explaining it to me, the first thing she's going to come out of her mouth is, what are you going to do for me? And I'm going to say, I don't play those games. And then she's going to tell me, it ain't going to get through the House. And so then I don't get anything done. And in 4 years, I'm voted out because I didn't get anything done in the whole time. That's the problem. You have to play the game to get it done.
The whole system is corrupt. We need
That's
to
right.
go back to our roots.
You need to go back with somebody we were just talking to during this rally that is more liberal than we are. And they believe that I think he thought that he'd rather have federal government more in our business than the states. I believe the state should be, that is what, if you go back and read the Constitution, it's about the states running this. You know, a lot of people were upset about the school, national boards, whatever was in Washington, D.C. Trump wants to close it down.
Board of Education.
Do you know when that started?
1978.
9. So we went to school our whole life, and probably your parents did. And if you're as old as we are, you probably did too. Did you get a bad education? And this one gentleman said, well, who was in charge then? I said, your state was. There was no federal. The federal was like the senators and all that overlooked it. But the state got the money from the federal government to support the schools, and the schools took it out. So if you had a bad education, and if you were graduated before 1979, you had nothing to do with the Washington, D.C. Board of Education. I looked it up because I didn't know when they started. And then when I thought, well, crap. They didn't deal with us at all. And we turned out a halfway decent. She went to college. She's got a master's degree. So, but now if you look at the kids today, but if you look it up, I think it's like $80 million or $80 billion or something that they're spending
Department
up
of
there
Education.
just to pay the salaries.
Just for administration
Yeah.
costs.
And that's money that your kids, grandkids aren't getting at the state level. So do your homework. If you don't like Charlie Kirk or whoever you don't like, do some homework checking. Don't rely on one source. Look at a lot of different sources. And I look everything from a conservative side to a liberal side. Now, sometimes you can never really find the right answer, or at that point, you just got to say, I don't know, you don't know, they don't know. And it's not an argument if there's not enough proof to prove that it was a lie, if it's true or if it's not. And that's what's wrong with America now. People are looking at this stuff. Somebody tells you that Charlie was a Nazi. He was not a Nazi. He didn't do Nazi options. Just like they said, we have a dictator. We don't have a dictator. And the guy, look at all the things they said about the president Trump when he ran the first 4 years. We were going to be in a war, the end of the war. Well, we got another guy. We get Biden in office, and now we got a bunch of wars going on that could end up being a nuclear war someday. Not saying it's all his fault, but I always look at this. In 4 years, you're going to have another guy you get to vote for, a woman or whatever it is. And no, he's not going to change the Constitution where he's going to stay in office all the rest of his life. That ain't never going to happen. But
I don't think he really wants to.
He says stuff to rile people up, and he probably shouldn't do that. But it is what it is. But it's that if you go back and look at Washington, D.C., and all those people that signed that Constitution about 250 years ago, they were all Christians. That's why they left England, is because of prosecution of religion.
Yep.
There's people here that don't like Jewish people. I don't understand that either. Well, we were just talking to this gentleman the other day, and I said, I'm not real fond of the people, the Jerry Christianers or whatever they're called.
Harry Christianer.
Jerry left. It's Harry now. But I mean, just because they bothered me at the airport, well, they're not as bad like they used to be. They were all at the airports all the time. But I mean, I didn't hate their religion. I don't know nothing about them. But I mean, even if you're not religious, I don't hate you. I don't have anybody, unless you treat me bad. That's really the only reason I don't like certain people, is because they're assholes or they're rude or they're obnoxious or whatever it is.
But you're supposed to treat everybody with love.
But it doesn't matter what they are. It doesn't matter if they're black or if they're Asian or if they're Russian, or it's like in this case, we meet people all over the world. I have never met, we have probably 5,000, 10,000 people we've met since we've been doing this.
Probably.
A lot. I have never met anybody I didn't like. Not saying everybody could be my best friend and be my buddy that hangs around with me every day, but for the time that we meet everybody seems really great. Everybody seems friendly. Everybody, we like to hear from their side. I've met people, from Ireland, from Australia, from Russia, from Germany, from South America, from Mexico,
The
from
UK.
Canada, from Alaska, from Hawaii, from
Those foreigners up there in Alaska.
the Philippines, the Vietnam. I have met South Korea. I don't think I've met a North Korean, but I might have. They may not have forgot to ask where they're from. But I mean, Cuba.
That's true.
I've met people from Cuba. Actually, I think Professional Monkey's wife is actually from Cuba.
Yeah, or her family.
yeah.
I don't know if she herself
Probably
was.
not her. But I
I think
mean,
her family may have been.
there's people from all over the world.
Well, Red Pink, I think his family was from Cuba too. I think.
Yeah. So they're. I mean, I have no trouble with any of those people, but I mean, some people think because we want to close our borders down that makes that makes us racist because we don't want to allow people to come in our country. Go out into Canada and tell them you want to go across the border next week and say, I'm moving in. Here's my passport. You can keep it because I'm never leaving Canada. And they're going to tell you, turn it around and get out. Do the same thing out in Mexico. Drive across Mexico. Don't get any of your paperwork that you need. Just go across the border, show your ID. And then when they ask you how many days you're staying, tell them you're staying forever. And they're going to tell you, turn around and get out. So there really isn't a lot of countries around here that just says, come on in. Well, because in Canada, you can, if you got enough money, you got a job, you're not going to cost the country money. Mexico, too. We've got friends that live in Mexico now. Her cousin's got a house. She's a dual citizen in Mexico and in the United States. She's born in America. And so, yes, it is. You can do that, but you have to go through all the process of this. So, yes,
Same thing coming to America.
And it's the same thing I always say here. We live next to the Mexican border in California. And what I want to give a shout out to is all the people that fly flags from other countries and just, you see them at rallies and especially in LA, you see a lot of Mexican flags all flying around and, I'm proud I'm a Mexican. And since you're American, because you're in America, take that American flag, go across to Tijuana and run down the street with your American flag. Proud American. And take some pictures because I want to see it. And let me know how that works out for you. Probably won't hear from you. But I might. Let me know. Let me know if you get arrested. Let me know if they tear your flag down. Let me know if they applaud you and say thank you for coming to Mexico and sharing your American flag with us. But most countries, you don't see that. Other than like maybe a ball game or a soccer game or something like that. But I mean, you have a lot of free things that you do. I just told somebody today. We lived in California for 17 years. So I worked for the gas company. And this is going back about 30 years ago. I met a Russian that had been in the United States for 28 years. He's now at that time, he was a citizen of the United States. He gave up his Russian thing.
Right.
But back then, about 30 years ago, he could see already that we were heading towards socialism. And so he started talking to me about it when I was in his house. I was the gas technician and I was working on his furnace and stuff. And he was telling me about Russia and stuff like that. And he said, what's wrong with your country is, he says, you people don't know how to respect America. He says, you people have no idea what the communist socialism world is like. He says, what you need to do, and like I said, this is way before Trump, before, this is probably during Clinton's time or Obama's time. I'm not sure exactly what Bush, whatever it was. I don't know who was president when I was talking to this guy. But he said, what you need to do is every kid that comes out of high school, you need to send them on a one-way ticket to Russia for 30 days. In 30 days, they can call you back and you send them their airline ticket back. No money, not a dime to their name, and see how the government takes care of them over there. He said on the average, 3 days, they'll be calling and whining to come home. And they will treat America a whole lot different. And this guy actually told me, if you want me to right now, I will go outside and kiss the dirt. He says, I love America.
Hey, Don,
It's
we'll see
the
you there.
best country in the world. He says, you people have so many rights. You can say what you want, say what you do. He says, in my country, some of the things that people say here, they would shoot you for talking. America, we don't have that. Well, we do because we had Charlie Kirk. Kirk got shot, and a lot of other people. That girl got stabbed in the subway. No excuse there, but was, I'm not going to get
Kids
into
praying and all that stuff in the
Yeah.
school and getting shot.
And, you can't even, some of these cities, you can't even walk around without worrying about getting mugged or get killed. It's sad. When we were kids, you could leave your keys in your car, our parents did, or they left the front door unlocked and we were gone for the weekend. You didn't have to worry about people robbing you or stealing you or stabbing you or stealing you for your purse that might not even have any money in it. It's just sad that we've come to this level in America that you can't say anything, you can't do anything without somebody trying to kill you or shoot you or slander you. Or what happened to when I was a kid, my dad and mom was very Republican. They voted Republican all the time. So McGovernor's running. He was a Democrat. I think he was from Georgia. And the neighbor across the street was going to vote for McGovern. So I don't know who was running against Nixon, or I don't know who was running against on that side. But my dad went out in the street and had a fist fight. No, they didn't. They actually stood out there when they weren't in the middle of the street. They were on the side of the street. And they talked. They were actually both in the volunteer fire department together. And actually, the guy across the street was the chief. My dad was the lieutenant. And so they actually were out there, and I was standing out there, and I heard them talking. They were like, okay, what does this McGovern guy have? What is it that you like about him? And so they talked about it. And whoever it was, I don't know, I have to look it up and see who was running, if it was Nixon or whoever. And so he would ask my dad, what is it that you like about Nixon? So they went back and forth and they talked. And I don't know if anybody, which I don't think my dad changed his mind, but they actually had a very civil thing, and they walked away smiling that they had this talk and they were happy. And to see that today, that you can't talk to somebody is just insane, that we've come to this level that we have this hate. People hate Trump. I wasn't a Biden fan, but I didn't hate the guy. I don't care if he got in, if the election was rigged or if it was not rigged. He still was the president for 4 years. He is what he was. I didn't hate the guy. I wasn't fond of some of his policies that he did. Obama was the same way. I actually voted for Obama the first go around because I thought he said he wanted to change and he didn't do any change. For me, from my personal view and from the union's view, I was president at that time. But he was still my president of the United States. When he's my president now, he was president for me before. And the guy before him was Obama. Right? Yeah. Obama, he was my president. Before that was it Jimmy Carter? I don't know who that was. Jimmy Carter and Nixon and all those people. Draggy Dick. I am not a crook. But I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, there's nobody that I would say was not my president because I'm an American citizen. And I always say that all the time when I've got a lot of African-American friends. And I'm like, I ask them all the time. Most of the time they say they're a black guy or they're whatever. African descent, but I don't have a lot of them say they're African American. But if they do, I'm like, are you African? Are you an American? I'm actually got some German in me and some Italian, but I'm not Italian American and I'm not Italian German. My grandpa came from Germany, and so, but that doesn't make me German. That makes me an American because I was born here. My parents were born here. So I'm an American citizen and I'm not a German American. I'm not an Italian American and I'm not, she's more, what are you? Marcus is French. So she's not French American. So I don't know why people say, why they use that title. You're either an American or you're not. You should be proud. I'm proud to be an American. I fly a flag whenever we got one that we can hang up. I don't understand what's happened to our country. And I like that this Charlie Kirk did this with colleges, because the colleges of America have gotten so far one way and kids are getting so brainwashed on what the professors and stuff are telling them that they need.
It's sad because you go to school to get an education, to learn to better yourself. And I don't think they're getting the education that they're paying for. They're getting indoctrinated on
propaganda.
Yes. So
And it could be from either side. I'm not saying one versus the other, but it's so I didn't really want to get off on this, but Karen asked if we wanted what I thought about Charlie Kirk.
it's very upsetting, and America needs to turn to God. That's my opinion, because
and but once again,
Jesus is coming back soon.
That's what built this country, which is funny because we do have a daughter that her husband's actually an atheist. But what's funny is all the time they're always going, Jesus Christ, God Almighty. Well, if you don't believe in God or Jesus, why do you use their name?
Or when you sneeze, they say, God bless you.
Why? Because they're really not what they say they are. So I don't know. I
don't know how you can look
with
at
Charlie
anything
being
and not believe a God.
she's more religious than I am. She knows a lot more of the Bible than I do. I am not a big reader myself either. I listen to things. I read parts of stuff. But it's
If anybody wants to know the foundation of America, go to jackhibbs.com and listen to the sermon today. That's all I got to say. And you'll find out where America stood.
Yeah. So it's just very interesting. But I mean, what's part of the problem is too is social media. You need to get off your Facebook page. And even though we got a Facebook page, YouTube, really watch what you're looking at. Make sure, Neil does it a lot to me. He sends me a lot of stuff that's AI generated. And I write him back, Neil, this is not a real video. Somebody typed in what they wanted to say, and it's you can usually tell when you see their generic pictures, their generic video, and you never see anybody talking. And they always got
just words come across the face.
Professional voice that they're talking, and they sound really, really good. And I catch it on her. She does it a lot of times. I said, you're listening to an AI video.
It's about a dog or something. I don't.
But it's still not real.
Stuff.
But I mean, somebody the whole thing is fake, and you got to get used to this and pick those out because AI is here and it's going to get worse. And
but you can discern for the truth or evil.
It's going to get to the point where
truth or lies.
I can make an AI video and make it perfect with us talking and us on it. I can do that right now, and you would not know the difference unless you've been listening to us to know that I don't always finish my sentences. I'm always thinking ahead to the next. I'm already about 3 questions ahead. So that's my issue that I have when I get on a roll. Sometimes I don't always answer the first part I started. I never finish that part because I've already gone on to the next thing because I'm already thinking ahead of that.
He does that when he listens too. He only listens to the first 3 words.
So she's the opposite. She's got to read something about 20 times to be able to talk about something because she can't, her mind doesn't work that fast.
Comprehend it.
But yet I've never went to college. I've taken some general classes and stuff like that. Most of my stuff I've taught myself to be an auto mechanic and learned how to do this. And I did go to a week-long film school before, but I mean, I don't have any degrees other than a high school diploma. She's got her master's and everything that she's gone through. But for her, after she actually feels she's no better off today than when she had her bachelor's degree. The master's was just a waste of her time.
I never got my master's. It didn't do me any good through my whole career.
But it didn't make her any smarter either because with her job, she already had trigonometry and geometry and all that stuff. She already knows all that stuff anyway. I don't know any of that. But it is what you are, but it depends, So I don't know. I guess I'm done.
All right.
I've rattled enough.
So thanks for hanging out with us. Spread love, cheer, be kind and humble. That we all come from the same place and we all came from the same creator. So don't forget to support our sponsors. They're the ones that get us to all the rallies, that get you all this great information so we can talk to you guys. We love all you guys. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video. And hopefully I didn't offend anybody. If we did, I'm sorry. Somebody asked a question. I normally don't like to get on a ramp. Yeah, 2 hours late. We're leaving. Bye. Don't normally like to get on a ramp, but I did. I don't want to talk about it because I get too upset. Yeah. And it was a sad day. I was very brokenhearted. I could not believe that he got shot. To me, I thought we're at the point of this is the end of the world. This is it. Jesus is coming back, and the world is so bad that it can't come back. Now, the way these candle lights are going all over the country, people are standing up. He did what Jesus told us to do. He went out and made disciples. At that, we're going to leave you right here. See you later. Okay, get to the button to turn it off.